Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the RSL. I'm Tasteless, and joined with me is Gemini.
Hello, hello.
Geminis 2.
Yes, that is me.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. Ready for another weekend of RSL here with groups C and D. Very excited. We got some great new players coming on in as well for this weekend.
Yeah, it's been an amazing season so far. Super busy right now in the StarCraft world. GSL, ASL, RSL, all happening at the same time. But today we've got a new player in our group here, a new inductee to the RSL.
Yeah, Shameless is going to be joining on in here to group letter C. We had, of course, GG Machine as one of the other newcomers earlier on last week, and well, he got the RSL welcome, unfortunately, and kind of got bowed out real early there to the insane group of Classic Rogue and Maru. So we'll see if Shameless has any more luck here going against Shin, Bunny, and ByuN.
Yeah, this is going to be a great group overall. Again, I think everybody pretty even here. Maybe Shameless, I would put like a rank down, but Bunny, Shin, ByuN, I think these are all going to be close matches. Just a few days ago, State and I were casting both Shin and ByuN playing insane games over there. So these guys both in incredible shape.
Yep, and here's the whole schedule for this month. As you can see, we are in the second week here of RSL on the 9th, and tomorrow, of course, we have Group D coming out. And then next week, we will be having a slightly different schedule where Sunday is reserved for the GSL. So you're going to be over there doing the GSL cast. So
Yes.
we're going to be doing a Friday cast and Saturday cast instead that week.
Yeah, so be sure to join us for that. Yeah, super exciting, again, to be banging out GSL and RSL all at the same time here. So, yeah, we are going to have that Friday cast. And then it's going to be back to normal. And by the way, on the 30th and the 31st are 2 final days of the RSL. It's going to be much longer days, so we will be starting earlier.
Absolutely. And, of course, always a big thank you to Archon Studio for helping us out. Of course, the premier tabletop miniatures game. We've got all their stuff coming on in. It's looking really nice. Ziggy is hard at work every single day painting these things like a maniac.
That's
and
right.
They look very, very nice. And I don't know, you've been doing a couple little promos for them as well, showing everything off.
Yeah, we've been filming some ads for them. We're just grateful they decided to sponsor us again here. Their product is incredible. And if you're a StarCraft fan, I cannot think of a cooler thing to also spend your money on than the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. I'm being serious here. Like, the figurines look incredible. Guys, we need your help. Consider signing up for our Patreon. It's patreon.com/ReviveSC2. We are a community-funded tournament. If you support us on Patreon, that money goes to the prize pool. It goes to the set we build or the sets we will build on live events. We just did our first offline event. It goes to staff. It goes to the admins who manage the tournaments. So consider supporting us. We want to have regular StarCraft content, the kind that goes on for weeks and weeks. Not a big mouthful weekend tournament, in this case for RSL, but instead something that you can digest over time, keep up with. We've got, by the way, spoiler-free thumbnails on our YouTube if you can't watch live. Oh, there we go.
Oh,
the
nice
YouTube
segue.
page. Yeah, that was crazy what I did back there. Also, subscribe to our YouTube. The YouTube's still pretty small. We're trying to get this pushed out. It didn't occur to me until we started doing this. This has probably been our biggest challenge, trying to grow the YouTube page for a 16-year-old game from scratch is kind of a it's kind of a crazy endeavor, but we are slowly getting out there. People are finding out about the RSL, and it's been great. Leave a comment, like the video. That also helps us in the algorithm. Any way you can help us, we will take it.
Absolutely. Here's the map pool so far for Season 5 as well. As you can see, we've had a couple maps voted in and out. Of course, Mothership, Taito, Citadel, and Throne of the Dunes are out. And then we have at Eternity's End, and Jesus Christ, these map names are so long. At Eternity's Edge, Exarch, and Vorzak coming on in as well. Exarch is a 4-player map as well, which would be very cool if we could see a 4-player map being used in any of these series, but so far it has not made its way into the pool.
It is a very different feel when you go for a 4-player map. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit more. I know that, 2-player, 2-spawn maps are the default really in StarCraft 2, but I always feel like the advantage that RTS games have over, like, let's say League of Legends or Dota as an example is, like, we do have a lot of different maps you can play on, and so you can get very creative with that. I think different types of maps. By the way, these maps are community voted in if you're a Patreon supporter of a certain tier. So I think that having new ideas on maps really is how we can celebrate an RTS, because then we learn more about how the races operate, or maybe where they're weak or strong on as well. So anyways, those are our maps.
Yes, Patreon members are doing a real good job of voting these in every single time. They've been able to pick out some really cool maps, so if you want to be one of those people that helps influence the map pool, go sign up to the Patreon.
So we're going to start the evening off here with Shin versus Bunny. We're going to be on Necropolis, then Missing You Today, and Old Republic here if we get map number 3. Shin, by the way, playing extremely well. It's going to be very interesting to see how Bunny does against him. I think Shin's looking better than he really has in previous seasons. So it should be a great group.
Yeah, he did top the GSL group that he played in. Is that correct? I think he got first place out of the group. So yeah,
crazy.
He's been doing very well overall. So we'll be going into Necropolis as our first map to kickstart the day for RSL Group C. We'll see if Shin or Bunny is going to be making it on later into the group.
Okay. Shin here in the top left with Dark as the, profile.
It's fanboying over here.
Yeah. Can't say I blame him. And Bunny down here in the bottom right. Let's see, what happens with these two. Bunny's been in great shape as well. He's been hungry for some tournament wins. A lot of StarCraft 2 going on right now.
Yeah, man.
Between GSL and RSL.
Lots of stuff to keep track of. You might think this game is dead, but God, would you think otherwise? I mean, you wouldn't even know it if you
And
were
even
just
if it is
go on the
dead,
schedule.
it's kind of fun to play with the body, you know? I'm into that kind of stuff, so. What's wrong with playing with the body if I like it, okay?
Just,
yeah.
just a couple of
A little bit
necrophiliacs
of
over here.
esports necrophilia for you. You know what I'm saying?
That is the stage that we're at here
Yeah.
with StarCraft 2 in this day and age, I guess. Yeah, well, yeah, that's how you want to go about it. Sure, no problem. Bunny's going to be throwing down a CC first, though, so his way to play with this dead game is to go crazy with the economy.
Yeah. Gonna be a little bit greedy.
Yeah, man.
You know, over on the other side of the map here, by the way, if this is CC first and Zerg doesn't cheese, probably going to be a little bit of a slow start here. It's going to be all development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very likely we're going to end up going into some big power play out of Bunny, going for 2 base, possibly a fast third as well, but might be going for some really heavy barracks play. Could go for an 8 racks build as well with a very fast +2/+2 coming on in. That can be very strong if you open up with a CC first and just get that super economy going nice and fast. So Shin's going to have to make sure he's keeping tabs on exactly what Bunny is doing so he knows how aggressive he's trying to be and where to cut corners here and there so that way he can get the best defense once the game does go a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think it's always great to throw CC first in, when you're going into a game like this. I do feel like people aren't as crazy about CC first as they were a couple years ago.
Right.
State and I had a GSL where we just saw
literally
more CC first than there was not CC first. And I'm like, eventually Zergs are just going to rush. But then it kind of went away. It was a lot more of the ByuN builds. But it seems like this has really come back strong.
Yeah, you do rotate it in a bit more as a Terran player in these series. It seems like we've had quite a few of them overall. Not like an insane amount, but it's like a 1 per series thing, like you're saying.
Right.
You just kind of just shuffle it on in. And if the Zerg player is not, trying to punish you, or if they're not just someone that goes for risky builds in general, which a lot of Zergs I feel like don't unless you're like Rogue or someone.
Right.
It's a pretty safe build to just kind of rotate in and just take that gamble that they're not going to be doing any sort of early aggression.
So in this game, we're seeing the 1-1-1 off of the quick command center. The third base is going to start here for Shin. Shin now knows this is command center first because he's already scouted it out. But it's going to be really more of a powering game. Now, on this map, you can get a third base pretty easily. The fourth base, no matter what, unless you're going to hug the bottom the whole time, like take the bottom left, it's going to be somewhat, I'm sorry, in this case it would be the top, unless you're going to take the top right as Zerg. Everything else is pretty pushable. This may, in some ways, become kind of a formulaic TVZ, just in the way that both players are playing. The general trajectory of the game is going to be one that's probably going to be about, trying to get the Terran to basically come out here and push the Zerg at the point right before Zerg gets out of control big.
It's also interesting on this map, just the way it is made out with, like, there's the rocks just to the lower left a little bit, as these couple units do start to take a couple pokes, but there's some rock formations on the left-hand side that make it very difficult to actually flank an area to the bottom of this base. As you can see right here, this spot right here, it's very difficult. It makes you have to go really far around on the right side to get any sort of flank going, so if a Terran does get kind of sieged up in that left-hand side over there, it could be very difficult to actually dislodge that. So that might become a focal point a little bit later if Bunny decides to go for any sort of tank pushes or contain style aggression. We saw it kind of earlier, I think, last season or so as well. So could be something to point out as the Overlord does come on in and get a nice scout off on all the stuff going on in Bunny's base.
Okay, the Hellions are going to go for the dive here. Oh my god! That actually went way better than I thought it would for for Terran. When I saw him going there, I'm like, well.
I thought he was actually just going to get trapped on the wall with the rings.
Yeah, they kind of slipped right through there. So we're just going to have the layer about halfway done here as far as health goes. There is Banshee Cloak coming here too. So he's going to have Banshees moving across the map pretty soon.
Yeah, Banshees could be pretty good in this position, of course. Just going for the standard Hellion Banshee play allows for a good amount of aggression and can always catch the Zerg off guard if they're not fully paying attention and knowing exactly where everything is going. As the double eBay also is coming in as the follow-up, so it's not like Bunny went for the super fast double eBay play for the very fast 2-2 timing. He did go for the Hellion Banshee first, so eventually that will come into the game a little bit later, but it's not going to be one of those super hardcore power pushes like we maybe were expecting off of the CC first.
Okay, I don't know about setting the Banshees here. Why would you do this?
I guess he's just maybe expecting there not to be an Overseer and that he might actually be able to just to kill it. It's a bit unfortunate because he wasn't even paying attention the whole time as well, so he's actually losing one for free. He was not expecting that many queens to come react.
I mean, I guess if he were to push that, maybe it's bruised later. I don't know. I don't really like that at all, honestly. I look at that and I think, don't you want to try to kill drones with this?
Yeah.
I mean, you're getting no value now with those Banshees. I mean, I'm not saying Bunny, excuse me, is in huge trouble here, but what a waste of Banshees, of Cloak, to lose a Banshee over that too. Meanwhile, we have actually all 3 upgrades firing here for Zerg.
Yeah, wow. Oh, actually, one of those is the Hydra range.
Excuse me, that's range. I looked at that, I was like, wow, would you look at that? It looks kind of like the other upgrade. Like, he's getting the 2 range upgrades.
I was like, wow, we actually have triple Evo.
No, that's what I thought for a second. I was like, that's crazy. I never see that.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a couple Hellions are getting caught in the middle of the map as well, so Bunny kind of just losing units left and right for really no value. Of course, those Hellions got a couple drone kills earlier, but it's not really going to continue getting any more after that, so we'll be just kind of forced onto these 3 bases for now as he continues to try and power on up. His armory has just finished, so he's going to go for his 2-2 as well. So eventually we'll be going into that push, like I was mentioning, but just a little bit later, as he is still kind of powering up on the Marine tank for now, as the Banshee also just trying to see if they can get any sort of chip damage or just kind of pull Shin a little thin left and right.
Pull Shin a little thin.
I didn't even realize I said that.
Wow. Absolute rap god over here. This is getting kind of crazy here. I'm a little bit worried for Terran. The creep spread is really good. Zerg's just cranking out these Hydras. The 5th base is being taken. You know, we saw a lot of split pushing from ByuN the other day, and it seems like we're going to see something like that from Bunny here too. Instead of actually trying to just have kind of one powerful push that can't really be contested to crush, he has 2 small forces competing for Shin's attention on the map here. The problem is right now it seems like Shin is swatting both of these attacks away pretty easily.
Yeah, really nothing getting done here by Bunny except clearing a couple of creep tumors, which, to be fair, it's kind of what you're expecting at this point in the game. You haven't really done so much crazy economic damage to the Zerg player, so they're going to have a good amount of units out. They're going to be able to deny the different multi-prong happening, so just a couple of creep clearing squads, essentially, as he then sets up for the actual push that will be coming a little bit later.
Okay, so the Lings going to do a little bit of a distraction here from the tank, but the actual push is coming up. Now, there's another Ling counterattack coming here. He's actually going to... Ooh, I like that. Gooping the eBay. And now we're going to have this beautiful Ling counterattack here. This is going to be super annoying. He's actually going to get driven away by the Marines. But again, what we really got to focus on is this push coming up here for Bunny.
Yeah, that is forcing a lot of Bunny's units to stay home, which is a good thing. So even though Shin had to run away from that position, he knows that there's a large chunk of the army that is on the other side of the map at this moment. So he has a little bit more time to kind of buy here. With the Lings, he's not going to get attacked super early, as he's just trying to spread everything out as much as possible, get a nice arc going, and also still backstab with these Lings.
Okay, he's going to try to come up again. 12 o'clock is going to be the target here. And, I mean, we're looking at a nearly maxed out Bunny. Shin has got a lot. He's got a small amount of forces that are going to counterattack. Now, remember, Bunny's going to have some reinforcements coming through here, but this is basically going to force Bunny's SCVs to head back home. The Hydras are... Oh, hold on. A huge move in here with the Banes. A lot of connections hitting on Bunny. But Bunny, with enough Marines to then push back, is going to force his way into 12.
Yeah, he's really got a good amount of Marines here right now. Going to be able to focus down this hatchery if he wants to. Will be able to kill that off and then goes on to the Banes and Hydras as well on the left-hand side. Shin needing that extra reinforcement of Banelings right now. Otherwise, he's going to start to lose this game, although he does have a couple more bases to go through. Getting the 2-2 upgrades is also really big, though, because that's going to give Bunny the upgrade lead for basically the rest of the game, because it looks like this game is going to be ending maybe in the next couple minutes. He's not going to have too much time to recoup those upgrades.
Yeah, that is a big blow. Very important where you place that, because in a game like this, when it gets really heated up, now you don't have the upgrades that you really need. The top right is going to fall. I don't think there's any way for Shin to get over there to protect that. Bunny's going to continue to push in here, clearing out a lot of these overlords, by the way.
Yeah, it's actually going to supply block him.
Yeah, I was going to say that should be enough to really cause a real impact here.
He's also not got too many minerals, does Shin, so a lot of those getting used on the Overlords. Now the Banelings rolling on into this position will be able to force these units away, kill off the tanks, and force the rest of the Marines to lift off. There's 11 medevacs as well to make sure that we can actually lift all those up, so plenty of space for Bunny's units. As another set of units is going to the bottom left-hand side as everything else over on the right, meaning this base is also going to get sniped down unless the Banelings actually deny it. Wow, amazed they were able to kill that off.
Yeah, Shin has been beaten back into a corner here. Almost got knocked on a 3-base, which would be 3-base versus 3-base.
Yeah.
About as small as you can get in this matchup, while maybe having a chance of coming back. Bunny isn't really growing. He's starting into their command center, but he's kept a pretty tight 3-base push. And so far, it's working out. It doesn't seem like Shin has any counterattacks set up. Bunny's been sharking around the map with 2 groups of units, one on either side of the map. But yeah, I mean, Shin is in a lot of trouble right now. And already Bunny has a foothold here. I thought he was going to push through the left. Is he going to come around to the right? I guess there's less creep to hack and saw your way through.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty decent position to go into, because, yeah, you don't have to go through as much creep. You already kind of cleared that out. And you have these high ground positions as well to make it very difficult for the Zerg to attack up into. The rest of the army is over on this left-hand side, and it's going to get distracted by this small group of Marines and tanks, but the main force, the main army from Bunny is on the right-hand side, and it's killed one of the bases that were morphing, and it's going to also make it very difficult because we're on this high ground position. Like I mentioned, Shin's going to have to retake this with just Ling Bane.
Yeah, he's going to try to push in here again, and this is going to prompt Shin to come out. Now, there's a lot of Banes here, a lot of Blinding Clouds going down. This is so small. There's no way Terran can hold this position.
That was actually crazy. The Blinding Cloud on the Marines as well, not just the tanks, to force them to starter step towards the Banelings as well, made it very good for Shin in that engagement, actually, even pulling one of the medevacs with tons of Marines in them. Another dive bomb here from Bunny. Tries to get the hatchery. Will be able to get it at the cost of a whole medevac and quite a lot of Marines as well. So we'll be able to continue to force Shin onto 3 bases, but he's still losing quite a few units. And if a parasitic bomb actually goes off on those medevacs, a lot of them could die. They're very low.
It's funny. Shin has been cornered pretty badly here, but he is lashing out and smashing every attack from here on out. Bunny's supply considerably lower. This is 116 army supply for Shin to 88 army supply to Bunny. So, I mean, Bunny, it's going to take a little while before he can muster enough to push out again, but, when Shin wins these fights, he's not even, using up all of his Banelings. Which is crazy to think, because, most of the time fights are decided by what's left over after all the Banelings detonate. This time it's like he kills everything off and there's still 12 or more Banes in the fight. It's crazy. So Shin has this massive army, but his economy is laughable. Yeah, don't use the Banes, don't use the Banes.
Oh, he's going to try to at least force them away, and then once the Marines get a little closer, just goes right on in. There's just so much stuff here from Shin, despite all the economic damage he's been taking, even boosting these Hydras forward to try and continue this engagement, but there's still a massive backline of tanks as well. The Marines not thinned out quite enough, and Shin might have overstepped his welcome.
Those are Space Marines, Gemini. Don't forget that. They are fighting back. He way overextended. He basically was doing a great job, but once he lost all the Hydras, it's going to be really rough. Now I think Bunny can wind up and do another attack. Bunny's actually going to use the command center from his main and relocate that to where the 4th base would be. That shows you what a tight game Bunny's been playing. It's very different from what we'd see from someone like Morrow or some of these other Terrans where they're very much kind of cutting the map in half. He is trying to power spike this game on his side into a win.
Also to note is that 3-3 was finished and +2 vehicle during that attack. The upgrade differential is massive. This all goes back to those 2 Evo chambers getting sniped earlier on in that first main push when they were at like 90% finished. That has led to Bunny having this huge upgrade lead going into this part of the game as well. So that was a huge limiting factor for Shin in that last engagement, and it's giving Bunny hope now to actually be able to close out this game.
Okay, he is... Again, knocked Shin to 4 bases. I guess 12 o'clock has been reclaimed, and he is going to try to go on to the top right. These counterattacks are doing a decent amount of damage, but we got to see how the next exchange goes. Is he going to try to attack in here? It looks like he is. He's going to come in.
Yeah, nice blinding cloud onto the tank, pulling those liberators as well. So many blinding clouds as the Hydras zoom on forward, trying to get those tanks dislodged, and will be able to do so. Pulling off some of these medevacs as well, trying to get those out, because of course if you can deny the healing of these Marines, they will fall very quickly to the rest of the units. So a pretty decent engage from Shin, considering the fact that he looked like he might get rolled over with how that other attack went.
Yeah, I mean, this has been such a different game from these two. Shin somehow has been so small but fights back so well. The problem is I don't see any opportunity for Shin to really come across the map and deny anything from Bunny. And now the army supplies are very even. Again, we want to watch and see where the Banes connect. You know, if Shin wasn't so god tier with these blinding clouds, I don't think this would have done nearly as much. But like the way he engages, careful, man.
My God.
What are you, a madman?
Dancing with death over here, Shin.
That's insane.
That is just one little stim
He's
away.
like edging death.
Yeah.
Right now, I can't. What?
Yeah, man, that is crazy. I mean, these Marines are very close as well. They are
Did
lurking
you think
around.
of any building that's more important than that one, and that's the thing you're going to drain? What is he doing? I mean, look at the extractor, anything else.
Well, I don't know, man. Sometimes the pressure is on. You just need to get any amount of energy, and you're not really thinking too hard about it. So, yeah, I mean, those Marines, they are lurking around. They could definitely find a very quick hatchery kill. You can see Shin is just babysitting this hatchery as well. He doesn't want it to just get sniped out, realizing that he's drained it so low already as an alley-oop for Bunny, as the main force is going to go over on the right-hand side. Might even just kill this off as well before the Banelings do connect. Pulls back for just a moment, but that does give Shin the rest of the time to get everything else in position. The units on the left-hand side still haven't made their name, so for now, Shin is going to continue to collapse as the blinding clouds again go off on the massive tank line and be able to kill off everything here, as forcing the Marines away, and will take a nice engagement.
Yeah, that was insane. Well, that's too bad he can't drain that hatchery now either, huh? Uh-oh, now we're going to see if he can break through here. This hatchery's going to die immediately. Oh, no.
Well.
Yeah. Now imagine Bunny looking at this right now. He's like, wait, what? Okay.
Please kill the hatchery.
Oh, kill it. Oh, come on.
What?
What?
Just click it. Why did he over-agreed onto the Hydras? I thought he was going to just click the Baneling and then just go click the hatchery as well. He could get this one too. He's not going to that one. Oh, my God. At least he clicks that. Jesus Christ. I mean, he could be putting him down onto like 2 bases right now, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case.
I'm so sad he didn't get that other hatch.
So much stuff is getting hemorrhaged right now as well. He's losing way too many units.
He just needs one Marine in one medevac to just go right across the map, unload it, stim it, shoot it down.
He's got 72 HP, man. Oh my God. That's insane.
I can't believe he didn't kill that.
Oh, boy.
I'm just saying, I would have won this game right now, all right? If he wasn't in the seat, we had to pause the game, we're like, all right, Bunny, get up. I'm finishing this from here. I right-click on the hatchery.
I don't know, man. Sometimes the pros, I feel like they do try to, like, you know, over-greed certain things.
I get what he's trying to do. He's like, no, I'm going to optimally win this fight, and then I'm going to kill it. I'm like, just click
kill
on
it.
It's, you know.
Well, we'll see if that comes back and bites him in the butt here, but for now, I mean...
Butt bite.
Yeah, man.
It's not good.
You never want one of those, man.
No, well, you know.
Look at... depends what you're into.
It depends. Depends on the butt. So he's coming down now, and there's... Oh, my God. The Banes are actually stuck behind the Hydras.
Yeah, you saw him, like, trying to micro those Hydras back. Unfortunately, unable to get them through. Will start to just kind of streamline them in. I can't believe he's actually going to be able to win this round. 23.
I got bad news. Oh, that hatchery goes down. But you know what's not going to go down? The hatchery from earlier.
Yeah, I wonder how much that would have actually even impacted anything, because I feel like Shin's army overall is still very threatening. Huge group of Marines on the right-hand side will be able to kill off that hatchery, but they're not going to have a way to get back home, I feel like, to actually defend this 2-base setup, which has no command centers, by the way. They're actually kind of floating all over the place.
Well, there's one on the center right.
Yeah, there's one on the left as well that was floating. It's going to start to reposition as well. So maybe ByuN actually can scrap this out.
He doesn't know. We need a vision check.
Does he realize that those bases are there? No, he does not. Shin, you need to put this together.
Shin, connect the dots.
Oh, no. There's 2 orbitals as well. There's a way ByuN can scrap this out. He's got 61 army supplies still. His upgrade's still very strong. He's able to get an income.
Oh, my God. I can't believe this.
Oh, my goodness.
Did he see it then?
Oh, okay. That's a huge scout coming in from Shin right now.
Shin, go back. I feel like I'm that guy in Interstellar right now behind the bookshelf. Like, no!
Don't go back home!
Don't go back home!
Stay
right
across
there.
the map!
Oh. Okay, he knows about it.
No, Shin, no! Shin!
No, Shin! Check 3 o'clock!
Don't let me go into the black hole, Shin!
Please. That hatch is... Oh, okay. It got all the minerals out. That hatch is going to live on.
That's insane. And then he's just gonna kill it himself. That's so crazy.
But there's still Vespian gas. Don't lose it, Dawn!
Oh my God. Oh yeah, they changed that recently.
Oh yeah. Actually, I forgot about that. I forgot about
I was literally
that
while it was happening, I was literally like, wait, didn't they
No, I forgot about that.
make it so that way that's like a quality of life change?
We've been so caught up in the whole.
I mean, if there was a Marine there,
yeah,
you could still alley-oop it, but still, yeah, that's really funny.
Okay, there's gonna be a push coming out here. Army supplies, by the way. ByuN's much bigger. I mean, he has almost no SCVs here too.
Yeah, 19 SCVs is pretty ridiculous, but
only
91 army supply. That's true. This is a 67 Marine army, dude.
And just like ByuN, I knew he was going to put tanks and medevacs at some point in time. We're finally here. Oh my God.
Big stim in. He's going to try to get this. There is a lurker, and there's not going to be many scans as well because all of the energy is going to be used on mules at this point. Still lots of bio, only a few Banes in this engagement, and they're stuck behind the Hydras. Are they able to get the connections? They are not. ByuN's army supply remains very large. Cannot kill this lurker, though. That thing is saving Shin right now.
He's going to pull the drones. I think ByuN just won this. He's going to try to attack forward here. There's too much for Terran.
Oh my God, he's actually doing it. Everything is dying. Shin's hands off the keyboard. ByuN
slumps in his chair.
I don't blame him, man. What an absolute chaotic game. That is an exhausting one to win as well. But I am actually amazed that he was able to pull that off, considering how badly a few of those engages actually were going for him. It felt like he was going to get knocked out.
It was a crazy game.
Yeah.
I loved that. That was fun. ByuN at the last second managed to pull through. Shin had some great attacks. He did have some issues where like he'd have these fights where there's Banelings just kind of going back and forth behind the Hydras, not able to get in there and do the damage. One of those games you didn't know who was going to win until the last second, really.
Yeah, it could have been anyone's game at any point during that last couple minutes there. I really thought that like when Shin took that massive overextension as well earlier on. I'm amazed that ByuN won kind of in the way he did, because if he did win, I thought it was going to be during that time where Shin just way overextended and ByuN was able to just kind of go across the map after that, but it still was able to slug it out. Shin actually looking like he was going to bring it back towards the end there as well. Really just chaotic clown fiesta game right there.
Very different game. That hatchery never actually killed off. We're going to go Missing You Today. Going to Missing You Today for our map. His map names, dude.
We will miss you today after the broadcast is over, though.
I'll miss you guys later tonight when the show ends. Oh, God. We're going to have Terran in the bottom right, Zerg in the top left. And, I mean, if we can top that last game, I'm going to be happy. But that's going to be a tall order.
Yeah, man. I love those games that just come down to the last unit. And you just really don't know. It's like 16, 20 minutes into the game, and it's like a 70 versus 70 overall supply game. And you're just like, how did we get to this point? Like, this is so ridiculous. The single lurker looking like he was actually going to end up winning the game, and then it doesn't end up doing it. You know, the Marine micro is just there. Yeah, you never really know what's going to happen in those games. It's very fun to watch. It's definitely some of my favorite ones to watch, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, this game, ByuN going to open up in a more conventional standard route, not too greedy, Not clear, obviously, right now what kind of game it's going to be, but it's probably going to be, basically a 1-1-1 with an expand, paired with this expand a little bit later. Shin, it's interesting. This seems to be more and more popular in StarCraft 2 as Zerg right now, is to go for Ling, Hydra into Bane.
Yep.
Lots of damage coming out there. Does feel like if you have a bad... it's almost like it's stim bio for Zerg or something. You know what I mean? With the way the Hydras come out.
I kind of see what you're saying.
So you kind of have this, like, in TVT, sometimes it's like about who has like a better angle, and then how the damage kind of distributes out. It feels like that's also true here.
Yeah.
Like if the Hydras have kind of a weird bottlenecky position, they will lose really badly.
Yeah.
Instead of just lose. Where like Ling Muta Bane, it's a little bit different. It's kind of about how much force you have, and if you can hit the Terran while they're moving versus when they've anchored their position.
Yeah, it's curious to see just overall the development and just the different play styles that certain players play. I mean, we haven't seen Shin just today. I mean, it's been only one game, so we'll see if he wants to bring it out this game or not. But Rogue has really been favoring that Muta style as well in this matchup. So different players, of course, have different tendencies and whatnot to go towards their preferences. So we'll see if Shin wants to bring something like that out. Of course, it could be very interesting, as the Reaper does do the age-old dance at the front, trying to poke away at the Lings and possibly even maybe get a drone. We'll see.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, boo! The drone lives.
Not interesting.
Not interesting. Okay, so we're going to go into double CC. And I think this is going to be, whenever you see this, it's almost always going to be an 8 racks push later on. +2, 8 racks push.
Yeah. Likely going to be some Hellions again coming out of Bunny. Likes to go for that. It's basically the stock standard for the Terran. You want to be able to get some sort of control on the map to deny creep and all that stuff. So Hellions will be coming on out. We'll see if he wants to go for 6 or 8 to go a little bit more heavy and maybe want to suicide them for an actual crazy drone kill or something like that.
Yeah, we'll see from Zerg what exactly the plan is. We're still at a phase right now. It's developing through more queens and creeps getting spread, and we're getting the necessary upgrades you can get at that time. But there's several ways to approach this game. I don't think there's like one correct way to fight 3 CC into 8 racks, right? There's like many ways to hold that, including cheeses. If you were going to do like a Nidus or some other kind of weird, or like let's say Roach Ravager, like a bust, this is probably the best build to do it to. Doesn't mean it counters it, but you can slow them down, you can cripple them a little bit.
Looks like it's only a couple of Hellions coming out from Bunny as well. Doesn't want to be super invested into that tech whatsoever, just using 4, it looks like, to go for some poking damage again and just to contain creep, try to get some creep tumors here and there. But it's not going to be going for any of the crazy dive bombs again, so we'll not be going for that style. I think last game he also only stuck at a few Hellions as well, so he does get 1 creep tumor there very nicely, so that's basically the job. And a nice scout from Shin actually does come on up and see the tech lab researching and seeing the factory being swapped away from that reactor, so some nice intel coming in from Shin.
Yeah. So the 3rd CC is done, but you don't land it right away. You need to just basically land mules and make some SCVs out there. This is one of like the most fine-tuned builds at this point in time. Like we've been casting people play like this for a while. Honestly, I've always said if you wanted to like have a build to copy to play StarCraft 2 at now as Terran, I think this is the build versus Zerg, obviously.
Yeah. Try doing this versus Protoss, man.
Yeah.
Just go 3 CC, 4 Hellion into double eBay.
I really need to make it that clear there.
You're gonna have a hard ass time going against any sort of play, man. You're just gonna roll over and down. What the fuck? Tasteless just lied to me.
Why are there these stalkers blinking into my main?
I thought this guy knew what he was talking about. What the hell?
I was like, this is definitely the build you want to try in StarCraft 1 versus Protoss.
Just dies to 2 dragons.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Immediately you get killed by DTs. I'm like, oh, sorry, wrong matchup, end game. My bad, guys. I should have said that in the cast.
Pretty sure you want to do this against Orc as well,
you want to try this in Command & Conquer Tiberium, son? So, big counterattack here. Ling's getting killed. CC's going to have to be lifted. It is going to be a deny on the 4th base.
Yeah, we'll be able to kill that off.
Double deny!
Oh, wow.
Ooh, why did you remake that Shin? Why would you do that?
That was a kill, actually. Yeah, trying to be
deny to a kill. It's better than even killing it. Bunny's so good!
Shin played himself.
He's so good!
Well,
I can't believe he canceled and then remade on the spot. I don't think I've ever seen that, actually. How fast are you? You're remaking your bases before the fight's even done.
Didn't even look like it died yet. Like the animation didn't even clear out yet that it died.
Yeah, it looked like we had rewinded the game a little bit back there.
So yeah, another one of those situations, the pro gamer.
Finally, that movie Tenet makes sense.
You got me on that one.
Oh my God, he hasn't seen this either. All right, we're going to talk about this. Guys, Gemini has not seen Indiana Jones, Independence Day.
Go
what
ahead.
else? Fight Club?
Yep.
What? Pulp Fiction?
Yep.
And now he hasn't seen Tenet.
There's
and
a huge
there's a million
backlog,
references
man.
I could make here. I don't know. All right, guys, let him know we're going to have a big StarCraft community intervention after this game, which could be ending right now.
It's going to be movie night every single night for the rest of the month.
It is going to be movie night, and you're going to thank me for it. The tank's going to go down here. Is there action at Roach Ravager?
Yeah, he might have just had enough here, just kind of going all in with the attack. Didn't really make too many drones after that initial push. Sure, he got his 4th base killed and denied a couple times, but is able to lift the CC on the other side, and a couple of bio units actually get a nice few cancels onto those.
That was actually pretty good. They got to micro their way through there.
Even dodge the bios was pretty impressive.
Yeah. This is really where you get to appreciate how bad Ravagers are when they have to run away. Desperately shooting out their corrosive biles that never hit anything.
Yeah. So that's going to get cleaned up by Bunny here. It's really annoying having both ByuN and Bunny in the same group.
We've both done that a couple times, ByuN in here.
Anyways, we'll see him a little bit later, but a very even resources lost overall so far in this game, as Bunny will hang on. Will be able to land that 3rd CC yet again and start to SCV and mule it up, as his 2-2 is also coming out here. We'll see if Shin is going to be able to fight back, of course, because he's still got a massive amount of roaches and tons of supply coming out. Could easily go for another big attack a little bit later.
Okay, so the creep is getting paved out nicely here at the bottom. But Zerg needs some more bases. This is a 4-base Zerg. You really want to be up to 5. Terran has claimed the 6 o'clock spot, but doesn't have SCVs there yet. Yeah, no transfers here at all. I guess, what is he on, 58 SCVs? Yeah.
He barely has enough to saturate 3 bases, let alone 4 at this point, but he does have that 4th CC. It will eventually give him something, so that's nice.
So the game's quieted down. Shin should be able to attack in here again. This actually could be bad here for Bunny. Bunny might end up just getting flattened.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive army coming across the map right now, and honestly, Shin might even just be out-positioning him. Bunny doesn't seem to realize that this is coming. The tank's a little bit out of position, but he will be able to catch hold of when this army does go up the small ramp, but unfortunately, everything gets out, and it's going to have a nice concave. Tons of bios getting thrown down onto some of these tanks as well, and we'll be able to clear some of those out. But a lot of the units besides the Ravagers do get cleared by Bunny, and he's even going to go for an SCV pull to actually make sure he can thwart this army. Corrosive bios going down on some of these Marines, and now that the SCV's body blocking as well, should be able to defend for now, but honestly, it looks like this Roach Ravager is doing much better than I thought for a second there.
I find this exceedingly difficult to tell who's going to win this. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this. I have no clue who's going to take this until the last second. 2-2 just finishes, by the way. Bunny, now again, the supplies can be a little bit deceiving here because Roach Ravager is so supply heavy.
I'm kind of surprised that they honestly went for that SCV pull. Like, I didn't really expect that, and I thought he was going to be able to kind of defend without it, but what does suicide quite a lot of that, and I guess he's still on 50 SCVs and 4 bases, so he's going to have a good amount of mules overall, but yeah, I don't know, this is quite a strange game right now, and it seems like Shin continually wanting to batter the front door, continuing to go for more Ravagers, more Roaches and Lings across the map. 10 more Ravagers being morphed right now is pretty ridiculous, so Shin really wants to try and end this before it gets too late.
Oh, okay, he's going to dodge that corrosive bile. Now, the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Bunny, because he's going to basically outscale him. He's going to have a much better functioning late game army, but this next attack is going to be huge.
Yeah, coming on in right now, some of the Marines kind of body blocking for now, choking everything up. allowing some of the other Terran units to reinforce, and it's going to force Shin away for now, so doesn't want to go into that position just yet. Feels like he doesn't have enough support for the Ravagers, because again, if all of the Lings and Roaches start to die off, the Ravagers are so squishy on the backline, and you can really just suddenly lose the game out of nowhere, because you can't retreat with the Ravagers. We saw that earlier. So you have to be very careful as Shin, and he's actually going to be transitioning out of this. He doesn't think he can end the game with this push.
Okay, Shin's going to try to come in again. Huge army, maxed out. When you're maxed out like this, that's right when you got to hit. Oh, you know what? He actually might wait for the Baneling's Nest to finish here. Feels like the Baneling's Nest is a little bit ill-timed.
Yeah,
it should have been a little bit earlier.
Yeah, he just really felt like he was going to actually win with these pushes. I feel like he didn't actually fully anticipate needing to go for the transition. So now there's going to be a big lull here for Bunny to kind of recoup and get maxed out himself, and then go for a big swing. He's going to have 3-3 coming up eventually as well, as Shin now going into the Infestors and the Centrifugal Hooks. There's going to be some time still to buy up some energy for those Infestors, and also to make sure Baneling Speed can finish. So Bunny now needs to take some more authority on the map, try to get some sort of map control, and then get maxed out so he can combat this late game Zerg.
Nice. Oh, look at you, Mr. Fast Rebuilder. He's back at it again. 12 o'clock's going to get hit right as it finishes. Can this actually be protected? Bunny thinking about that hat-trick from the previous game and saying,
I'm not making that mistake again.
again.
Yeah, man. Well, he still won the game anyway, so I guess it didn't matter too
yeah.
much. But yeah, want to be able to actually finish those hatcheries off.
I didn't win hard enough, Gemini, is what Bunny would say.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll be able to run on away and then start to set up some more of these CCs himself. So Bunny is really starting to hunker down as well, making sure he gets all his upgrades set up, and even going into the Marauder switch, expecting there to be Ultras, which now the Ultra Cabin gets thrown down right then. So we'll be prepared for that as well.
Okay. He is going to be pushing out here, and this is where it gets scary. A Roach Ravager is not that viable. We're going to see a huge gas dump into Banelings. Unfortunately, some of these are just going to get denied up here. I think Shin really kind of on the spot here. I mean, this is like half the Banes being denied.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the greatest there from Shin, being a little bit greedy with where that morph was coming on in, but still has a good amount of them to potentially thwart this push coming on in from Bunny, as he is continuing to move across the map here and take positions. He's trying to siege up and make it very difficult for Shin to actually dislodge this. There's a couple Infestors here as well, which could throw down some great fungals and help to connect the Banelings as well, so we'll have to look out for that in this upcoming fight.
I mean, they're going to keep pushing. Terran is getting massive right now. It's going to be extremely hard. Oh.
You thought.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard to actually do anything here. The spread is pretty perfect. Let's see how the Banes can connect here.
Yeah, some nice connections at first. We'll be able to kill off the tank line as well. And the Marines forced to run away. So a nice hold here from Shin, able to dislodge this position very nicely without losing too much overall. Unfortunately, those Infestors did get killed off, but lots of the bio getting killed off as well. The Medevac's still alive, but yeah, all 4 Infestors being lost is a bit unfortunate. You don't really want to be losing all of those caster units as Shin.
Okay, he's going to come in here and attack again. And the problem is, like, even though, you know...
Oh my god!
That's
insane. That was so many Medevacs.
That was, I don't even know how many. That was
a
lot.
My god.
10 Medevacs killed this game, and a lot of them were back there. The problem is that Zerg's low on Banes now. The Roach counterattack is a great idea. But again, these Marines are so upgraded. They're going to tear through that.
Base getting denied yet again, as the Roaches will be able to get killed off by the Planetary Fortress and the reinforcing bio.
Bunny is a killer this game.
Yeah, it's 21 Banelings coming on in. A couple of Ultralisks have made the field as well. Blinding Clouds trying to get thrown down on these units, but the bio is split off pretty nicely, but now it's the Ultralisks that are going to be the hard thing to kill off right now. But nice kiting overall from Bunny. Going to be able to focus fire these down, and with nothing to lock these bio units down, he's actually going to be able to kill everything off and trade out pretty effectively. Even supplies right now in a 15-minute game. This is looking pretty decent for Bunny.
Yeah, he's just going to keep coming in and attacking. And
I'm honestly surprised that Bunny is doing this well. I thought that Shin was kind of coming in today. He was just going to kind of roll Bunny over with how well he was doing in GSL and everything.
Yeah.
This is kind of a surprising way this series is going.
I'm pretty blown away. We saw earlier Shin look kind of laughing, you know, at the situation. He's in. Oh. Yeah, he just taps out. I was going to say, this is pretty impossible. Bunny.
Wow.
Bunny playing amazingly in that game.
Yeah, that had to be some of the best play I've seen from Bunny in a very long time.
I think so.
Bunny has been this kind of up and down player in the history of StarCraft where he's had a couple moments where he was doing really well. Like you mentioned before, like that CC first meta into those like 2 base all in kind of or like 8 racks pushes and stuff like that. He really thrived during that era. But then he kind of dips down again, kind of just disappears a little bit, doesn't really have great results. And now here he is coming in with some really good play against a player that's red hot from their GSL group.
Yeah, I mean, he played really impressively. I love the way he was able to hold off the Roach Ravager. There was a couple moments it looked like that was going to be enough to break him. Excellent control. The pushing was amazing. I don't think that Shin really played poorly at all, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe being a little bit lackluster on the infestor control in a couple of the engagements maybe made it a little bit difficult for him. So a couple of sloppy engages overall. But, I mean, yeah, Bunny definitely coming in, showing that he's here to play for RSL Group C.
Yeah. Guys, check out our merch at tastelessthreads.com. We've got esports-related stuff, stuff related to me, or if you want to just get like an RSL hoodie, go for it, man. We got all sorts of RSL stuff on there. If you're a Patreon supporter, it is a discount. I can't remember how much it is, though. 20? What?
Something like that?
That's too much. That's highway robbery. So yeah, go to tastelessthreads.com. We're gonna take a short break, and when we return, I got Elmer Fudd voice here. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Tasteless here. I wanted to show you our Terran set for the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. You can see we've got all the pieces assembled here. It comes with 12 Marines, 3 Medics, 2 Marauders, 1 Sentry Drone, and then the final piece is Jim Raynor here. Each Marine in the set has a unique loadout. Over here, you have the Raynor's Raiders version of the Marines. Each one with a rifle and a bayonet attached. But honestly, these look incredible. The amount of detail is insane. Like we've said before, these look exactly like what you see in the cinematics for StarCraft 2. Now it's important to remember, as amazing as this looks, this is more than just a bunch of cool figurines. This is actually a game. Each figurine comes with a corresponding card. So this is Jim Raynor, and you can see on the card his different attributes listed, what he's able to do, and this is what you'd be using when you're actually playing against your friends. So just like in the game, you're able to get different upgrades for each of the units. So for the Marine, if you flip the card around, you can see you can go for combat shields, grenades, or other various upgrades, which are going to change the whole experience of what you're having when you're playing the game. When a game starts, you get minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, flip it over, you'll see exactly what abilities that tactical card gives you. In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals and Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards. And from there, you're ready to go. For more information, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. Check it out.
I didn't even see the production tab.
Yeah, so the idea is that all of your infrastructure is at the front of your base, including the add-ons. So, and I love this, just coming down here and hitting like the tech lab, for instance. So this is a huge problem. Now the Reapers are going to come back, and that does chase them away, but that's kind of okay, right? Because he's powering up with Roaches. The Reapers are no longer scouting. So you almost like magnetically pull the Reapers back to defend.
Oh my goodness. Rogue able to get this around on all 4 Reapers.
Dude, that was tactically so perfect.
He just lulls Kira in this false sense of security because he cleans up those 4 lings, and then Rogue knows where every single Reaper is. He waits on the top of the ramp where Kira is going to go should he decide to move to Rogue's side of the map with those Reapers, intercepts them, and now it's just a trickling of Marines from these 2 barracks here in the wall-in, from 1 more barracks in the main base. We have Stim, Combat Shield, and +1 infantry weapons. All started here for Cure. Actually, a 4th barracks even for Cure. So production-wise, he's in a good position, but none of these upgrades are going to be in time.
Yeah.
And already the Ravagers are coming now into the natural expansion. That tech lab potentially going down here.
Yeah, and you can dish out these biles in a way that are going to hit those SCVs as well. Oh, he just opens it up! Oh my god. This is insane. The Roaches, the Ravagers are all going to come through here. The bile connects on the Marines. What?
How often do you see biles connecting on
Yeah.
Marines this early in the game? That bile does get dodged. Only 4 more Marines standing here in the natural expansion.
GG.
Cure. Oh, not looking happy on the
Oh
cam.
my god, I need to get Blizzard on my speed dial. We got to get Zerga nerf again. They're too strong.
Rogue is looking so good. That was tactically so brilliant. Going for the 4 Zerglings. As he makes this call the moment he sees the wall on the low ground. I guarantee that was not the plan going into this game. But he sees the wall on the low ground. ByuN for a long time was the only Terran player who could really only make that defense work. It's been very tricky for everybody else. And Cure, he had the infrastructure to manage a defense with those 4 barracks, but he just didn't know it was coming. You want to be able to throw down bunkers. You got to get mentally prepared as well for a push like this one. His supply depot was down.
It was pretty perfect. I mean, he used the Lings. He drew back the Reapers so the Reapers can't scout. Then he set up a trap and killed all of the Reapers without ever exposing that the Roach Ravager Rush, was coming, right? So then, you know, there's an incredible amount of ambiguity. You know that there are threats there. Then he immediately comes down. He destroys the tech lab. The depot went down. I don't know. That almost happened so fast I didn't quite see. What was he trying to let something in, or what was going on there?
I think Cure was trying to get the Marine ball into a position where he can kind of like stutter step with the wall and open. And just start taking some damage because the barracks, obviously they're in the back. It's hard for the Marines to really deflect the Roaches or the Ravagers. Welcome back, everyone, to the RSL. I'm State, joined here with Gemini, and we're getting ready to hop into the second series of the day. It's going to be Shameless versus ByuN.
Oh, yeah. Welcome, by the way, State. This is your first day of the new season, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been missing you guys.
Welcome on back. Yes, we have you coming on in. And yeah, Shameless versus ByuN as our first match for State here today. A nice little PVT. Are you excited here? Because this is a newcomer to the RSL.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I actually have never seen Shameless play before. I've seen the names pop up in brackets, but no games that I've seen, no games that I have cast, and so I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. And unfortunately for Shameless, this is a pretty tough group. I mean, Shin, ByuN, names. you and Taze were just talking about how you always.
Dude, it's so hard. They're so similar. It's
Bunny and ByuN. Oh my goodness, tongue twister. Yeah, this is a tough group, especially with everybody competing in the GSL these days. So let's see how Shameless, the newcomer, is going to. Hold up, I'm off to a great start, aren't I, Gemini?
I love that. That's awesome. Oh, my God. Anyways, yeah, Shameless versus ByuN coming on in on Old Republic as our first map. Very curious to see how this one goes. Shameless, someone that has been kind of on the up and up the last couple of years, playing in a lot of the Open Cups, and the Wardy TVs, and the Roddy doing the big brain bouts every now and then as well with him. He had actually a very decent run recently. I think just in one of the Monday nights a couple of days ago, he beat ByuN, Classic, and Hero.
Oh wow!
Back to back, which is kind of crazy. I didn't actually notice this until a little earlier, but yeah, that's a pretty crazy run from Shameless. He's been having more and more of these series lately where he does kind of upset some of these top dogs. So we'll see if he can continue that consistency. That's always the problem with some of these newer up-and-coming players, is that sure, they might be able to take a series here and there, but can they keep doing it consistently in these big tournaments?
Yeah, it's awesome to have a new face here in the RSL. Shameless is going to spot the SCV, and look at this SCV just completely safeguarded by the engineering bay right in the center.
God, I hate that RNG, man. It's so annoying. We'll be able to eventually pull that thing away, but yeah, that is going to be very annoying as Shameless. I never like those eBay blocks, man.
Yeah, they kind of throw a wrench into the works for absolutely everything in terms of your timings, but I like the response that Shameless went for. He had a proactively there on the low ground. Was that the natural expansion the moment the SCV came in, and then 5 probes able to take that down. ByuN really walking a fine line. That cancel was very close for a moment. I thought Shameless might actually get the kill.
Oh, there's going to be another one of those pro gamer moments like we had last series.
Yeah.
Both Bunny and ByuN, it was Bunny and Shin. This is going to be so hard today, man. ByuN and Bunny is just the worst 2 pairings. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be just going for a normal standard style coming from both these players. Basically, of course, the eBay block making it a little bit awkward, but Shameless going for the pro pull method, doesn't want to take the forward third like we see some players try to go for. I personally kind of like what Shameless does with this. I feel like I don't enjoy watching the forward third games just because it feels like it's so vulnerable. Like, you know, the Hellion can come in a little bit later and make it very difficult. I feel like it can just be something that you can avoid overall, and just going for the pro pull, it's not the worst thing, I think, because, you know, they have to waste resources going for the eBay block in the first place, so I feel like it kind of evens out overall when they go for this reaction.
Yeah, I agree with you, especially if you have a probe already in the natural expansion.
Right, yeah.
I feel like sometimes if you scout your natural expansion a little bit too late and see the engineering base already halfway done, well, then you don't really have much of an option, right? So in this case, it's actually going to be a 3cc opening here for ByuN, playing quite greedily, whereas Shameless opting for a Stargate play.
Wow, okay.
So you don't see very often in modern PvT. We did get a couple games of Stargate PvT in GSL over the past few weeks. So maybe a little bit of a resurgence with this opening. We'll see where Shameless wants to go with this.
Yeah, this is interesting. Both some pretty unorthodox builds coming out from both players here with the 3cc and the Stargate. So I'm very curious to see how this interaction plays out. Going to be an Oracle coming out first from Shameless as well. Not going to be going for a Phoenix opener, which sometimes you do see with the Stargate as well, going into like Phoenix Colossus or something like that, with the Phoenixes to deny any sort of aggression or drops coming out of the Terran. But luckily for Shameless, it's not going to be that. So it's not going to it's not like he's wasting a Phoenix opener against someone who's not even going to be harassing him in the first place. So we'll be going for that Oracle, and we'll likely get the scout off that it's 3cc about as early as you can with this type of opener.
Yeah, and I wonder if Shameless has caught wind of this, because there are way fewer Marines than there should be here on the low ground right now. The barracks are very delayed, and actually the count is such that I wouldn't be surprised if Shameless just jumped on top of these Marines with the Adepts and the Stalker, came in with the Oracle, and just tried to take this down, because there is no bunker right now for ByuN. All right, here comes the Oracle. Only 5 SCVs left standing. Oracle's going to micro back. Some more Marines going to re-join from the main base. That will deflect Shameless for now, but honestly, for those 2 early Adepts, a great trade here for Protoss, getting confirmation count as well in the 3rd CC. And still no bunker here in the natural expansion, so Shameless could do some micro with the Stalker, get even more damage done.
Yeah, I do like that play from Shameless, just kind of bringing it to ByuN a little bit, not like kind of shrinking in the, you know, the threat of how good ByuN is and just the caliber of player that he is. So Shameless, you know, doing what he thinks is the correct play and doing a bit of an aggressive opening play right there. So, you know, some players that are maybe not as experienced or not as used to playing in the huge tournaments or whatever might be kind of wary to go for a side of kind of a play like that, but overall pretty nice poke there, getting those 5 Marines, and of course forcing the reaction from ByuN here as well. Unfortunately, can't get a few more SCVs as that turret is nicely placed, but yeah, overall I like the play style coming in from Shameless so far.
Yeah, it's an excellent start for him. There is a bunker finish now, the natural expansion of ByuN, so Shameless will no longer get any damage in with these Stalkers. And the adaptation after scouting the 3rd CC has been a forge and a very fast 3rd base follow-up here for Protoss, as Shameless is continuing to power up. Oracle scouting the main base once more, and here with the Revelation, just able to identify exactly what kind of structure ByuN is going for in terms of his macro game plan. And it's a very standard build here for ByuN.
Yeah, we'll see how aggressive he actually wants to be once all these barracks start to kick in and once his bio count gets pretty heavy. But for now, Shameless is going to be just sitting back, getting his blink finished up here, going into a 2nd forge quite quickly, actually. Obviously, he knows that it's 3rd CC, very fast from ByuN as well, so he's taking that into calculation, knowing that he can go for a much faster 2nd forge, knowing that there's not going to be as much crazy aggression coming his way. So he's got room to move in that regards. Going to be doing a little bit of blink pressure at the front, trying to chip away as many units as possible, and then just blinking back the Stalkers that are weakened, knowing again that there's going to be no early stim coming out or anything like that. He's not going to waste all of his health trying to stim right now when the medevacs are not going to be near coming out. So I like this play from Shameless. He's just kind of being in ByuN's face, is not being threatened by the fact that, you know, ByuN is a very you know, threatening player overall. So this is looking good for Shameless.
Yeah, especially with how delayed the medevacs are, with the opening that ByuN had went for 3cc into 3 racks, then taking up into the medevacs, means that these Stalkers are getting a lot more damage than they would in a normal macro PvT. And as a result, Shameless feels confident enough to not go into splash damage yet. He's taking the 4th base, only just now took the 4th assimilator, and that's the cue for him to build the robotics facility. Up until now, it's just 2 forges, excuse me, a ton of gateways, and a very low-tech army. That should work against the smaller grouping of bio that ByuN has, because it still is only 7 minutes into the game. But pretty soon, I think Shameless is going to start adding in Colossi or some other splash damage.
Yeah, you definitely need it once the game goes a little bit longer. Shameless continuing to do a pretty decent job of picking off units here and there. Starting to lose a few Stalkers, though, on the trade is not exactly the best, of course. You want to be able to keep all of those alive, and with Blink off cooldown, you should be able to actually do so. Nice little scouting probe. We'll see that these units are coming to the right-hand side, so Shameless will start to set up a flank as well, as the majority of his units go over towards the right, but then the flanking Zealots on the top will be able to section off a few of those bio units and actually force ByuN away.
Oh, that was an awesome split by Shameless, intercepting the reinforcements. And now the Stalkers can blink forward and one-shot the Medivacs when they get into range. Bit of a sloppy engagement right now by ByuN, and Shameless making him pay for it. That was about the best trade you could possibly hope for, with a pure Gateway army, Stalkers and Zealots attacking in to a Terran that has been mustering for 7-8 minutes now.
Yeah, that's very nice right there. Wow, very fast. Second starport coming out as well from ByuN. He's kind of sniffing out this Colossus transition and wants to get ahead of it before it can actually hit the field, hoping that he can just get a ton of Medivacs set up first from the initial starport and then just flood with Vikings afterwards and just really make it so that way Shameless can't get anything done with this later Colossus transition.
Yeah, and I love the way that Shameless is playing the Colossus transition as well. The moment the robotics facility was done, hold that second. Hold that thought for a second. He's going to recall out of this. Some nice moves. We'll lose 1 or 2 Stalkers, but trading that out for some SCVs, getting a little bit of damage done on infrastructure as well is good here for Shameless. But what I was saying is, you know, the tech is so delayed here for Protoss that the moment the robotics facility was done, he throws down a second robo and then a robotics bay so that he can tech into the Colossi. Now he's going to be turning out Colossi 2 at a time. And ByuN, this is his window to get some damage done. The bio is now reaching critical mass. We still have just a purely Gateway army here on 7 gates for Shameless, and so the engagement is going to come through. Some Widow Mines being added now into the composition of Terran, and that force would actually making it a tough angle for Shameless to attack into. Yeah, so the Nexus, it will get canceled.
He just created his own bottleneck there with the force field, allowing the Widow Mine to get as much damage as possible on those Zealots, so not a great trade. Forced to cancel that base as well, and he's really just trying to buy as much time as he can so that way these Colossi can actually hit the field and get into this engagement. He's setting up another flank with Zealots on the top-hand side as the rest of the bio is trying to come on in here. An unburrow from the Widow Mines as well, waiting to get their opportune moment. We'll be able to get just a Zealot or 2, but now the Colossi are here. This is what Shameless needs to swing this fight.
Colossi are finally entering the engagement right now, but the Zealots on the front line, they are slowly dissipating, and so you have to be very careful right now. As Protoss, and actually look at how many units got kind of a stasis forward during all this engagement. That might have been a difference maker for ByuN had they been able to join forces a little bit sooner, but instead, for now, ByuN just going to regather his forces at his 4th base, continue to build right up.
I like that scouting factory as well. You don't normally see that as much. I feel like you normally still see it, you know, making some Widow Mines here and there or whatnot, or just kind of forgotten about, but I like that he's just using it to see if any Zealots are coming out from a different path and just checking all the different counterattacks. Because this map is very large with lots of different counterattack positions as well, so it's very nice to be able to keep tabs with that as much as possible. You can even see him putting random sensor towers in different locations as well to make sure he can see where these different run-bys are coming from, because it becomes such a hallmark of the mid-game PvT style. You need to have Zealots running all over the place. You need to be counterattacking and trying to break the Terran down, because if they can get the crazy max late-game Terran army, it can get very difficult to actually engage.
Zealot earlier got a glimpse of the drop in the natural expansion here of Shameless, but I'm not sure he noticed it in time. Instead, the drop now getting a lot of damage done on these gateways. Disruptors are going to finish out of the robo base momentarily. That should be a good shot on the Marines. A lot of Marines getting taken out, but this is going to open up an angle here for the Vikings and Marauders to take down the full frontal army here of Shameless. This Nexus, once more, it might get canceled, but another good Disruptor shot. Is it going to be enough?
Yeah, honestly, everything is starting to get killed off, though, because the bio is getting pretty weak. There's only a few Medivacs there to be able to heal everything up, and the reinforcements from Shameless will be able to chase down a few of the Vikings as well, which is very nice. Of course, if you want to keep those Colossi alive, you got to be able to keep that Viking count as low as possible. So a nice overall trade at the back end, but I feel like ByuN still did a pretty decent amount of damage in the natural and also killing off quite a few of the units at the front. You can see the resources lost favoring ByuN right now so far in this game, and I think he should be able to stay pretty composed overall once he starts getting his ghost count pretty high as well, and even transitioning into the fleet, not the fleet beacon, the whatever you call it, fusion core. Thank you. Oh my god, I lost it for a second there, but will get the range for Liberators eventually as well.
Yeah, ByuN just trying to get a little bit more damage done with this drop. Only one medevac remaining in the dead airspace near the natural expansion of Shameless. So the game's going to quiet down for a moment. Protoss continuing to macro up, expanding into the bottom right corner of the map, really taking the entire bottom side. As ByuN's building additional command centers, trying to get set up for a longer, more macro game. I think ByuN was hoping to try and close this one out a little bit earlier, but Shameless has just been so resilient with his gateway-heavy style and some really good disruptor shots. Have anchored the defense so far for the young Protoss.
You don't see the disruptors playing, I feel like, as much overall in the PvT matchup, just because they have been nerfed a little bit. They do not one-shot any bio units anymore except for the Marines, so the Marauders and Ghosts now as well are very, you know, they're pretty beefy against the disruptors, but Shameless going to be going for that style this game, and I do love to see it. They're some of my favorite units to watch. We have a couple of units gone both sides of the map in both players' main bases, just killing every tiny little thing they can, just trying to stretch each other thin. But not too much insane damage getting done either way from those, as Shameless does start to position up on this top side, trying to bait these units into his disruptor shots, but a nice focus fire from ByuN, and then a nice split on the back end as well to make sure that these disruptors are getting nullified.
Yeah, good engagement thus far by ByuN. Shameless maybe a little bit too forward with those disruptors with the initial shots, was not able to make the magic happen. It's now Liberator range coming in. Big tech switch underway here for Terran as ByuN throws down 2 additional command centers, make that 3 additional command centers while expanding to the 3 o'clock expansion. And right now, Terran's army is looking very formidable to me. I think without these disruptors landing good shots, they're going to be a lot of trouble here. Shameless, and that was one good shot there for the disruptors, but it's going to come at a cost here. ByuN just charging through, able to take down every single one. Now the standing army of Terran, much more impressive than what Shameless has mustered. Keep in mind, just those 2 robo facilities in terms of splash damage. We have no Storm, we have no Archons. Disruptor count completely reset, and we're going to double down, make that triple down.
Yes.
On the robos.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting for this, actually, considering he was going so hard into this, and with how many bases he's set up as well, going for triple disruptor is honestly not a bad call. You want to be able to reinforce this as much as possible. You don't want to get stuck just getting your disruptor count reset like that. So I do like that he's going for it, just kind of hunkering down, going for the late game at this point, getting all that extra production coming on out. ByuN also getting those extra CCs, like you mentioned, so he's really going to start to be able to kind of suicide some of these SCVs as well and just focus on the mules for his economy, and then his army can get absolutely massive. Huge attack coming in from Shameless, but a flank comes in from ByuN on the left-hand side as well. Disruptors getting jumped, and now the rest of the army is going to as well. Everything melting, a massive flood of Zealots coming in for the reinforcements from Shameless, but this army from ByuN is not dying.
That was the perfect engagement for ByuN. I mean, just a masterclass of positioning, pouncing on that army from 2 angles. Shameless didn't stand a chance on the defense there, and that's going to be GG. ByuN taking game number 1. Oh.
That one just ended out of nowhere, I feel like. I feel like both players were just setting up to go for a pretty long game. Everything was getting set up for the transitions, all those extra command centers, all the extra upgrades, Liberator range and all that. And then ByuN just senses that one tiny bit of weakness. He's like, oh my god, you are way too far forward. Let's get a crazy flank and just end this right now.
I mean, that flank was just absolutely massive. And even the army composition there at ByuN, it felt like it was pure Marauder.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like some Ghosts, there's a couple of Vikings and Medevacs, but it was basically just Marauders. And the moment the Zealots dissipate, everything is just gone for Shameless because the bonus damage is way too much. Well played there by ByuN.
Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to take those engagements. You can kind of see the limitations of how the disruptor style works nowadays, where in the past, just because they were able to one-shot all of the bio, you were able to just send one at a time, essentially, while you're retreating, and you're forcing the Terran to run into you, and you're going to get some pretty good exchanges no matter what. But now you can't do that as much anymore, because you need to have 2 disruptors shooting to actually kill anything, and so you're forced to use basically double the amount of disruptors every time you shoot, and it just makes it such a more difficult situation for you to actually get those good trades. And when you get jumped like that, I mean, what can you do in that position? Everything's just getting surrounded.
All right, folks, game number 2 is loading in. Let's continue on this series here in the RSL. Shameless spawning in the top left, ByuN down in the bottom right. And I agree with you about the disruptors. It feels like every game that I cast where we have a big disruptor transition come in from Protoss, it usually doesn't go their way.
Yeah, they have seen better days.
I would like to see players focus instead more on Colossi or going into Tempest or maybe into Storm. It just feels like, and maybe that's just my own bias from the games that I've seen.
Right.
Disruptors, they might be good for a small window in the game or in small numbers, but at some stage, they just really don't carry the weight that you need them to carry. I mean, we looked at the units lost tab, I want to say at the tail end of the Colossus stage of the game before the Disruptors came onto the map, and I think it was plus 2,000 or 3,000 resources in the advantage of ByuN, which, given the fast expanding Protoss style, that's pretty good. You know, that's a completely acceptable arrangement of trades for Protoss. But then we got another shot of it. Mappa gave us another shot of it right at the end of the Disruptor era, and it had ballooned. It was maybe a 10k resource difference or something close to it there in the advantage of ByuN. Just really going to show that the Disruptor-based armies there for Shameless were not trading well.
Yeah, it's just much more difficult to find the value nowadays, so you see players kind of favoring more the Storm Colossus overall, or just the pure just Colossus gateway, just having an insane amount of units to flood and trying to break them before they're able to get the setup going. So not working there for Shameless, despite some pretty hopeful stages in the early game, but for now, in this game, it's going to be yet another Engineering Bay block coming out from ByuN, and it looks like it was, the SCV was kind of sent away by Shameless, but did he actually send more probes? No, he didn't.
No.
He's only got that one down there.
Yeah, what do you think about this response? We had a second gas taken, another pylon built,
Yeah.
and a Zealot here for Shameless, so he's saying that he's more than happy just to one base a little bit longer before going for this, but I feel like economically this is going to set Protoss back quite a bit.
Yeah,
no?
I never know. It's so hard to call on some of these. At one point many years ago, Trap actually told me that I should just do this no matter what.
Really?
Yeah, and so for a while I was kind of just doing the Zealot thing, and I kind of still do it every now. It's like a feel thing to me, honestly. I don't even really. I feel like if you do get the very early scout on the eBay, it's totally fine to pull the probes, like you were mentioning last game. But if you don't scout it right away, going for the Chrono Zealot and just continuing your build as normal is also fine for the majority of players. But of course, this is the top level. This is the highest tier, and so whether or not this kind of evens out, totally fine. I'm not exactly sure, but at one point, the best Protoss split in the world was telling me that this was okay to do, so I consider it still to be, not that bad.
Yeah, it's interesting that it was a recommendation there by Trap. As we take a look at here at ByuN's setup, he is going for a fast expand himself, and it will be a 3-racks follow-up to this before factory. So in a couple of minutes, going to be a lot of bio on the field here for ByuN. And one of the things I'm afraid of here for Shameless is that it is an acceptable response, as you said, but the Nexus is becoming online so late. I'm worried it might delay the first power spike the Protoss is going to need to deal with this 3-racks push, which I feel like is almost inevitably going to come. If ByuN wants to get aggressive with this, Stim Pack, +1 infantry weapons, no medevacs, you just push across the map, 1 or 2 stims, and you go. I think that's going to be so difficult to stop with the setup that Shameless is playing, but let's see how this game is going to go.
Charge first is very interesting as well from Shameless. And going against 3-racks with charge first as well feels a bit strange. I feel like I almost never see this interaction actually play out. I feel like you want to be going charge first against like the 1-1-1 style pushes that are coming very early, which were very popular maybe like a year or so ago or something like that. So I feel like that is when this style kind of came to popularity overall. Going against the 3-racksing player, I'm not so sure. You generally would like to have Blink versus that, so you can kite the bio as it's coming across the map. You can just kind of one-shot Marines with the Stalkers and blink away. So we'll see how this interaction actually works out here.
So ByuN is going for 3 barracks. There is still no factory on the map. He is just playing bio right now. And Shameless has a sentry. If Shameless is watching a little bit slow on the force field there at the ramp, I was going to say there's no easy way for ByuN to actually get down. He cannot elevator the bio down, so there was some potential for Shameless to really delay things there for ByuN, but of course with such a meager amount of units, it would have been difficult no matter what happened.
I like the idea though, again, like he's continuing just from last game, just being in ByuN's face. He's doing his own thing. You don't see this very often either. You never really see Zealots and a single sentry and a few Stalkers trying to force field the Terran in his main base. Like, I like that he's got his own little style that he brings in, his own little flavors here and there to what is generally kind of the standard, but just doing his own little flair on it, and it's very interesting.
All right, well, here comes the bio push. Let's see how Charge is going to fare. Guardian Shield going to pop right now. Zealot's a little bit too far in front for that. Force field. not really able to catch too much of the bio, but I think Shameless has enough units here on the field, especially with the Marine count dissipating now, that he can usher this all the way back to ByuN's side of the base. And what is that on the minimap? Do we have a proxy gateway too for Shameless? Oh, he is getting aggressive with this.
This is very interesting. I mean, I feel like you don't normally ever want to be attacking into a two-basing Terran just because it's generally pretty easy for them to defend on those two bases. They could even pull SCVs and just send them right across the map if they kind of thwart your push as well. So we'll see how aggressive he wants to be. Thankfully, keeping that observer alive, you want to be able to know exactly where they are, especially if you don't have Blink to be able to chase everything down. You want to have as much map vision as possible.
That was such a close moment. ByuN scanned the observer to try and snipe it down, and the scan barely missed the proxy gateway and pylon. We have 5 more gateways warping in right now. I know that Shameless is taking a 3rd base, but there is some significant aggressive potential if he wants to go down that route. We'll see when this gateway is going to be utilized here for Shameless, as ByuN finally able to catch that observer.
I'm very curious to see just what Shameless is trying to go for here, if that's going to just mostly be for counterattacks when ByuN tries to walk across the map again eventually, or if he's actually going to just use it to try and swing some sort of engagement and then just continue to, you know, snowball into the natural. Because, of course, he's still getting Blink, he's still getting Archons back at home as well. He's not actually researched Storm with that Templar Archives, so he's really just trying to get just a bursty ground army set up here that's very difficult to kill off with the Archons in there as well. Not going to be any Ghosts on the field right now to be able to EMP that or anything, so those can still be pretty useful in some of these fights. So we'll see how well Shameless is able to defend against this, as for now it's going to be a couple of medevacs getting sent across from ByuN.
Yeah, there is a spotter pylon and a spotter zealot here to the south side of the base. So
no way.
We'll see if we... Okay, there is a glimpse, and I think they're going to go into full vision here of the pylon. Not sure if Shameless would have noticed them just barely skimming that zealot, but certainly going to see the medevacs flying into the main base now. And yeah, there's the reaction by Shameless, even throwing down a forge, as you know, that knows that ByuN is focusing a little bit more on some harassment options as opposed to a full frontal attack. And actually, look at this, coming in from the low ground too. He might be able to snipe one of these medevacs or at least get it heavily injured in the dead airspace.
Oh, that sentry body blocked the Stalkers, unfortunately, for a moment there. Oh, but he's actually going to boost away!
I don't know if there's a full dead airspace there from Stalkers. I think he, especially with 2 medevacs, because they collide with each other,
yeah.
right? I think one unit might have been able to hide, so ByuN just trying to hightail it out of there, but unfortunately losing one of the full medevacs.
Still not scouting this proxied gateway, so it's going to be nice for Shameless a little bit later, of course. So ByuN has something there that could easily catch him by surprise once this game gets a little bit more chaotic. For now, just going to be using the medevac there to kill off any spotter pylons, of course, to deny the vision. Will make it easier for him to go in a little bit later. As the second forge also coming down from Shameless, despite the fact that it looks like, well, actually, never, there is another command center there. Never mind. So he's not going to be going for a crazy 2-base all-in, but still a lot of units coming out from ByuN. It's not like this game is setting up to be the craziest long macro game of all time.
Oh, Shameless able to defuse 2 of the mines right there with 2 lone zealots and then pushes up the ramp, but ByuN has so many units back here. The natural expansion. Will Shameless commit? For now, it seems like he's continuing to test the waters right now, moving forward with just 1 Stalker, trying to focus down more Widow Mines, and now he's going to charge right on in, but the Widow Mines get massive shots.
This is why it's so hard to attack into a 2-base Terran, man. Like, they just have all their reinforcements right there. There's no real need to do it in the first place either. If you can just kind of, you know, just keep them suffocated on the 2 bases and just expand yourself, you will eventually be able to take a better fight later, but it's so hard to actually take those engagements. And so a decent trade from ByuN in that last engagement there. It's going to set himself up to go into the Ghosts as well, which is going to be very good, of course. Without any Templar on the field right now, there's not going to be any feedbacks going down, so the EMPs could be ridiculous in these upcoming fights.
Yeah, there is a Colossus transition underway, though. Second Robo coming in, as well as the Robo Bay. That will be a nice transition here for Shameless versus the Ghost Tech of ByuN. You need a mix and match here. Splash damage a little bit here, as Protoss cannot continue to rely on Zealot and Charge Zealots and Archons.
A little bit of a blink forward here from Shameless, just trying to poke anywhere he can, just get any information exactly where all this bio is headed. So we'll see that a large majority of it is still sitting at home, and he's got that observer there as well. Somehow this gateway has still not been found. That's very lucky, but looks like this factory will eventually finally find it, which is very nice for ByuN, of course. We'll be able to get that off. But unfortunately for Shameless, it didn't really have much value. I feel like he didn't really get the, you know, what he was looking for with that, but regardless, that's going to get killed off, and like you said, the Colossus transition is going to be coming on in for Shameless. He's going to need that to be able to stay alive in this game because, like you're saying, if you're just sitting on Archon, Zealot, Blink, like that is just going to die to Ghosts alone, I feel like. You cannot use that as an actual an army in this type of a game.
Second starport coming in now for ByuN. This is going to be adding in a lot of Vikings. Actually, 4 Vikings are already getting started up. He must have built that starport on a reactor. So, yeah, ByuN speedrunning into, there we get the shot of the starports, speedrunning into a Viking fleet to try and deal with the Colossus transition, which I'm sure he suspects is coming if he hasn't scouted it already. And ByuN's playing a very defensive game right now. We saw him play something similar to this. I believe it was even on the same map in the GSL where he tried to play an exhaust play in TVP. I wonder if we might be going down that same road. If we see a couple more command centers get thrown down the next minute or two, I imagine that's exactly where we are going to go. Because ByuN has been about as passive as we have seen from him in TVP so far in this game. You know, he's gotten a couple jabs in here and there. He did push with the initial 3 barracks, but after that, it's mostly been Shameless trying to get on ByuN's side of the map and doing damage.
Yeah, this map is very good for the late game turtle style. It's very difficult to punish these bases. You can see Shameless is trying to set it up right now as this 4th base gets going, but the Planetary Fortress could get up in time, and a nice EMP to start everything off. All those Colossi were hit as well, so the Vikings could be tagged, could be set up here to get some nice tags onto those as well. Huge engagement coming in from Shameless, trying to bust down this Planetary Fortress before it finishes, but it will finish in time, and the Vikings clearing out all these Colossi, but the ground army from ByuN seemingly disappearing during all of this. It looks like the transition from ByuN was maybe a little bit too early, as Shameless is able to take a great engagement, even going into the natural.
Oh, what a fight by Shameless. That's going to be a GG. We're all tied up 1-1 now in this best of 3 as Shameless gets on the board. He gets his first RSL victory, but that was simply the perfect timing for Shameless. He hit the moment before the Planetary Fortress was done, and I want to say the fight concluded right as infantry weapons, infantry armor, and ship weapons were all finishing for ByuN. That was the perfect window. If that attack hits 10 seconds later, I honestly think ByuN holds.
Yeah, that was a great position, of course, to go into. You need to be able to deny that 4th base coming down from the Terran in this location on this map, especially just because of the way that once they have that position set up, it's so difficult to actually get in there. The Planetary Fortress is able to deal with a lot of the units coming on in. The splash damage gets pretty ridiculous. And then it's, you know, the Liberator circles start to get set up, and it's just so hard to actually bust these positions. So Shameless taking the perfect fight at the perfect opportunity and is able to stop ByuN before he's able to get into that crazy late game scenario.
Yeah, it was a very well played game by Shameless. It's honestly impressive performance both in Game 1 and in Game 2, and now he's tying up 1-1 with one of the best Terran players in the world as we're waiting for map number 3 to get loaded in. And I'm really impressed with what I've seen so far. I think this is going to be a fun group.
Yeah, no, it's again, a very unique style to it as well. Just going for that interesting charge first with the Sentry, trying to force ByuN back into his base a little bit. Because that was also after an engineering bay block as well. So it's like, you go across the map, you know that they went for the eBay block, so you might be, their CC might be just a little bit later, so maybe you can kind of get over there and put a little bit more pressure on them and force them back a little bit, kind of get the gain equaled up a little bit more since you had to get your Nexus a little bit later. And then he goes for that, again, interesting charge slot Archon attack on the 2 base, against the 2 base Terran, which, again, you don't normally see as much, and you kind of, again, force them off a little bit, delay them from getting the 3rd base, and then he's kind of just expanding back at home.
I think it's been one of the most enjoyable parts of watching Shameless play, is we're just kind of discovering this new play style that this young player has, this newcomer into the RSL, and it's very aggressive, as you said. It feels like almost every single game he is trying to get in the face of his opponent, and that might be typical if you're trying to play versus like a really macro-oriented player, but he's doing this versus ByuN, who's one of the more aggressive Terran players that we have in Korea.
Fight
and
fire
it's
with fire,
from
man.
Game 1 all the way to Game 2. Game 1 we had that Oracle opening. Game 2 we had a lot of early gateway pressure, plus the proxy gateway. It's a refreshing outlook.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're just waiting for this 3rd game to get loaded on up. I think someone asked for a break, so we're just kind of waiting on that. We're not just yapping at you for no reason. We are just waiting for these players to get ready. But yeah, I'm very excited to see if Shameless can actually manage to do this. I guess you would call it an upset, even though the last time these two players played, Shameless did also win, which is interesting. So, maybe it's not actually an upset. Maybe Shameless is actually just, at this level now where he's kind of leveled up in the last few months and is able to be more consistent against these top-level players.
It could be. I mean, ByuN coming into GSL last week and also this week has been looking so good and so strong. So even though Shameless, as you said, won the last series they played against each other, in a tournament like the RSL, I'm still kind of giving ByuN the edge. And anyway, folks, map number 3 is loaded in. Let's see who is going to win this series between the two. The young upstart and the veteran ByuN. Shameless spawning down here in the bottom right. ByuN in the top left. I'm missing you today.
What kind of builds are we going to get thrown out here? Is Shameless going to yet again go for some of that unorthodox, more aggressive style, or is he going to kind of dial it back a little bit now that he's done it a couple games? I feel like he's going to continue to go for his more, classic flair onto the standard builds. He's probably going to continue that. I mean, it's been working overall well. Even though the first game he didn't win, he still kind of put himself into some decent positions. Could have possibly been able to win that game if he didn't maybe just kind of get caught out in that forward position with the crazy flank by ByuN and all that. So I would not be surprised to continue to see Shameless dial it up a little bit in the aggression.
Yeah, it's been fun because I feel like oftentimes when you see a newcomer come onto the scene and start playing in big tournaments, usually it's just one style that they have. There might be a little bit of a mix-up here and there, but we saw pretty distinctly different games in Game 1 and Game 2 from Shameless. And it kind of has me wondering what we're going to see from him here in Game number 3 because we already saw the fast Oracle play in Game number 1, and Game number 2 had the fast Charge Lot play with the Proxy Gateway as Shameless trying to even get Charge Lot Archon damage in.
Yeah.
Which you very rarely see, at least in the Korean meta of PBT. And so I'm curious where this one's going to go. It's tough to predict.
Interesting, ByuN doesn't want to go for the eBay block 3 games in a row either. Saw that the last 2 games it didn't really do too much, so I think he's kind of taken that off of his checklist of things that could possibly work against Shameless and is just going to go back to some more standard stuff. And it looks like there was a GG spray thrown down there. I'm not sure who did that one, but I do like when the pros bring out the GG spray meta or just any of the sprays. They're always very fun. I'm partial to the salt shaker spray. I do like that one. It's very fun to throw that one down, especially if you force them to try and pull their SCVs or something to kill your probe.
I can't remember what the default hotkey is for the spray, but I know that...
I think it's Y.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know that every time I went to throw down my Cybernetics core, I would always accidentally spray instead, and it drove me insane. This went on for months until I was like, what am I doing? I can just unbind it from a hotkey. This is the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah, I've had that happen a couple times.
Yeah, I wonder if it's something similar for Shameless because it's exactly where the Nexus should be.
Good point.
Like if he didn't hit B to open up the build menu and instead maybe whatever button builds a Nexus is the spray for him.
That's so true. I actually was thinking it was ByuN for some reason. He maybe tried to do the eBay block but didn't get it or something.
He could have.
But I wasn't paying too close attention to the early game, so I didn't see. But regardless, it looks like Mapu's, he's playing it out. He clicked on Shameless, and it looks like he did do it. So I think you're more correct.
But are you telling me that Mapu found the probe that did the spray? Because it could have been any of these
probes.
No,
it's a global cooldown.
Oh, it's a global cooldown? That shows what I know. I'm a fraud.
Yeah, dude,
I don't even know that sprays are a global cooldown.
I have tried to do mass spray meta, okay? So yeah, anyways, we're going to have a couple of units coming out here from ByuN, going for a Marauder concussive opening as well, which is, again, something a bit unstandard from him. And Shameless, not expecting this, loses the early Adept going across the map. This is not something you're normally expecting to see, as the battery will be able to finish just in time, and that's all you need to be able to defend against this push. So it looks like ByuN will be actually trading out. Wow, Shameless getting greedy, trying to chase that Marauder down, getting a little bit too far away from that battery.
Concussive, pretty good ability there, as ByuN able to pick off a Stalker and an Adept just for one Marauder. I like this early move out, especially as it's going to be culminating in another 3 racks push, this time with +1 infantry weapons instead of combat shield. I like him leaning a little bit more into damage with an approach like this one, and I'm assuming that the target in a couple of minutes here for ByuN will be the 3rd base.
Yeah, definitely. You want to try and kill that off if you can, of course, or just pressure it and force the Protoss out of position a little bit. But We'll see when that does come, but for now it's going to be the Blink coming up for Shameless as well. With that third base, much more standard style from him. As we kind of see the opposite of what I was expecting, actually. Shameless is dialing it back a little bit on the aggression, is not going for any of those cheeky early game moves and tactics that he was trying in the last 2 games, is just playing very passive, very standard, the way you would normally see it. An extra sentry coming out here as well, just to be able to force field this ramp. Is he paying attention? He is not! It is a late force field, so that's 2 sentries getting killed off, and a stalker, might even be another one too, since Blink is barely not ready just yet. Oh, that is absolutely painful for Shameless.
Yeah, that's a nice trade there for ByuN. You can look at the Endless Lost tab, plus 400 resources in ByuN's favor now, as he's trying to retreat back to his side of the map. Those 3 barracks still pumping. Might lose 1 or 2 more Marines here on the retreat, but overall, very nice early game here for our Korean Terran player. Even grab a couple more Stalkers. As I think Blink's on cooldown. I think they were trying to blink across the map to chase down Marines, but now the Hunted have become the Hunters.
Oh no, this is going terrible for Shameless. I mean, this has been the worst opener we've seen so far, and you very rarely make that second sentry in an early game PvT as well, just because you're usually so gas-starved, going for Blink, going for Charge, going for all the other things. To get a second sentry that early, you need to make value from it, and he got absolutely nothing from that. Losing it that early right off the rip is so bad. And now, I mean, you're losing Stalkers randomly in the middle of the map too. This is not how you want to be playing this against a aggressive 3 racks into medevac player.
Yeah, and as you said in the previous game, when Shameless went Charge, as opposed to Blink first, when you're playing Blink Stalkers against this kind of barracks opening with no medevacs, you really want to be active on the map the way that Shameless is right now to try and get some damage in. Oh, actually, ByuN went for a big stim there, thinking that Shameless might be a little bit bold with the Stalkers, but instead just taking a little bit of damage there on that bio. Fortunately for him, medevacs are going to be on the field now. But the army of Shameless, we have the first robotics facility just now starting. Charge is only about 75% done. There's no forge upgrades finished just yet. And ByuN is a pretty powerful army moving halfway across the map now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough push to hold from Shameless. I feel like if he doesn't get a really good engage, he's going to lose a couple Stalkers as well. He's got to get that battery. Okay, so he does have one back at home at least to defend, and Charge is a couple seconds out still, so there's this moment where ByuN can stutter step, but unfortunately for him, the Charge will finish right then, so we'll be able to give chase for now. So, oh, a nice force field as well coming out from Shameless. Going to be able to bottleneck some of those units up, and he's actually committing to this chase. Shameless getting a snipe on that medevac. Honestly, a pretty nice hold considering how this early game has gone for him.
Yeah, I think it's smart that he committed to the chase. He might have lost a couple more Zealots, but they traded well with the Marines, and one of the most important things when you're playing this style of PvT is to keep the medevac count under control. I think Shameless was a little bit flustered that he wasn't able to pick off a medevac with the very first blink, so able to confirm the kill with the second one. Now we'll see if we can try and hold the top of this ramp. No, instead just going to retreat completely. The force fields behind the bio, so ByuN can stutter step forward and then to the side, take down a lot more Stalkers, and Shameless in full retreat.
Yeah, that is unfortunately not how you want to do it as Shameless, getting a bit micro-mogged, as they do say nowadays.
Is that what they say?
That is what they say. The Zoomers do be saying that. More Zealots getting streamlined in as well. Okay. Anyways, there's more Zealots over here as well getting killed off. It is true. Young people, mogged. If you just get absolutely owned, it's outclassed.
Micro-mogged?
You got mogged, bro.
What does mogged even mean?
You got absolutely owned.
It means you got owned?
Yeah, like you're just like outclassing them. It's like diffing someone, you just like
like what?
Diff. You diff someone,
You're just making things up now.
No, this is serious. These are real terms.
Am I crazy?
You are. You also thought it was called like a La Boo Boo or something back the other season.
That's a brand name. I feel like I keep tabs on the English language, Diffed in.
You gotta get
mobbed?
Mogged. M-O-G. Yeah, he doesn't know mogged. I don't know if you guys can
Apparently
hear
I'm not
Tasteless,
hip. I'm getting diffed right now.
You are getting absolutely mogged. You are getting Zoomer language mogged right now, Stay. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, ByuN's about to mog Shameless out of this game as he's pushing into the third base right now. I think the first Colossus is done. Looking at the production tab, Thermal Lance only about halfway finished. Do we have enough here for Shameless to actually hold on? That sentry pretty high in energy. Just be spending on a Guardian Shield for now. Only one force field in the tank. ByuN's dropping into the natural expansion and the main base. Shameless, so far, actually He's the one doing the mogging.
Yeah, no, he's actually defending this very well, surprisingly, with how bad this game is seemingly going for him. He's being able to defend every push very nicely. He's split up his units very nice. He is definitely split mogging ByuN right now.
Okay, we gotta stop. Gemini, please.
He's got 71 probes, so he's eco-mogging him.
All right, Shameless now expanding to the 3 o'clock expansion, fully saturating the minerals. I think he's only on 4 gases, so still playing a relatively low gas style. Should have enough after he starts up some additional forge upgrades to throw down a second robotics facility, but for now, Shameless is just going to be content to churn out these upgrades and even warp in a couple more stalkers if we see the units lost tab.
Oh my god, he's mogging him and the resources lost as well, State. This is crazy.
It's quite even. Only a 2K advantage right now for ByuN, which given the faster pace that Shameless has been expanding, I definitely think that's a good trade here for Shameless. As it looks like he's going to be the one getting aggressive. Warp Prism setting up here. How many gateways do we have? 5 Zealots warping in here on the front line. And Shameless getting ready to push into the third. That's a tough angle to attack into, though.
Yeah, these Zealots are going to get bottled up right here. Luckily, there's no Widow Mines to get, their nice juicy shots onto those Zealots, but we'll just force Shameless over to the right-hand side at this point, trying to reposition, get a better spot. The Vikings are going to be very critical, of course, but there's only 4 right now against the 2 Colossus. It's not exactly what you want as ByuN. You definitely want a few more coming on out as Shameless does reposition to this top side, trying to get any sort of poke damage that he can, but ByuN is doing a very good job of staying behind these buildings and make it difficult for Shameless to engage.
Yeah, if the Zealots were to charge in, it would be very difficult for them to find the surface area they need, but we'll see. Is Shameless actually going to commit? You can see him engage and then disengage because the connections with the Zealots just aren't there, but I think now ByuN is pushing him a little bit too far. Shameless has to take this fight. The Vikings taking down all the Colossi. Do we have enough Stalkers and Zealots on the ground?
It looks like he's doing pretty good for now. I mean, the Bio tried to step forward to try and kill off the Colossi, but the Zealots actually body blocked and stopped that from happening, and he's able to snowball this as well. 22 SCVs getting killed off. The Medevacs have no energy, and things are still getting warped in by that War Prism as well. The Stalker's pretty high on HP, able to micro away. Shameless might be making this upset happen.
Yeah, even more Zealots warping in right now. And oddly reminiscent of game number 2, 2-2 upgrades. Only now finishing here for ByuN is Shameless is going to win his first series in the RSL. A 2-1 victory over ByuN, and he looked really strong.
Yeah, that was just solid play as well. That's that third game. I mean, it looked like things were not going his way, losing those early sentries, losing the early units to the concussive opener. The third base defense at some point, he was getting a little too forward with it and just kind of losing units left and right. But then he split his army so well against the multi-prong with the drop going in his natural and main, and then the main force attacking the third base once the Colossi got out. He did really good at that point, and he was able to just kind of flourish from there, taking a really nice engagement. I was staring at the bio because it was on a beeline towards those Colossus. ByuN took such a large chunk of that bio to try and get the focus fire because he knew he didn't have as many Vikings, but then just a massive wave of Zealots came in, just totally stopped that from happening, and he had to get forced back that whole time. That was so much time that ByuN is not actually attacking, trying to run up like that. It really swung the fight for Shameless, so it's very clutch that he was able to actually deny that snipe from happening.
It was a surprising win. The way the early game went, it felt like ByuN was taking every single early game trade, but at the very end, Shameless able to power through. As we take a look at the story so far here in the RSL
dominance
is
still happening.
Yeah, my goodness. Protoss winning every season thus far here in the RSL, plus the offline finals of last year. Classic Hero and Max Packs. I hope we get a non-Protoss champion at some point. I mean, it's inevitable, right? It has to happen.
There's 2 other races. I mean, surely, right? Like, you know.
Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, Bunny versus Shameless in the winner's match. We'll see you then.
Make a couple more depots at this point. You don't normally say that in a 17-minute game, but he does actually need those to continue maxing out. Might just decide to lose some of his army to remax as well. That's also totally fine. As we go in for a big push from Rogue, though, it's the Ultras and the Baneleys going to try to dive deep on top of all these units. Maro trying to stutter step as best as he can, but Rogue feels like he's pretty okay to defend this position for now until he gets into that later stage of those Widow Mines far back there, not expecting any more of those, and now Rogue is starting to dip in supply.
Yeah, layers and layers of Widow Mines there make it difficult to continue pushing without taking some huge hits. Mara's army is split a little bit. We have a big force down here, which splits against these Banelings. Actually running for a very long time. Will eventually get far enough away that they can clear that out. And at the same time, Maru's picking off creep, picking off overlords on this side of the map. Maru's multitasking is insane right now. And now we see a couple infestors. This is what I was waiting for. Because the ultras are amazing, but you need something to lock that Terran army down with so that they can get their damage output.
Yeah, if he could get some burrowed infestor plays going, that could be huge for him. Of course, like you were saying, it's very difficult to get those ultralisks on top of the units. Maru's so good at pulling back, so good at microing this bio. It's what he's made his name for over the years. And it's going to be a mass Widowmine switch coming in from Maru as well, making it as difficult as possible for Rogue to take these engagements on the terms that he wants, trying to let the splash damage rule the board at this point. So he's going to try to do that. Nice fungal initially on some of these units, but with nothing else to capitalize, just going to be a warning shot basically at this point. Let's see if he can actually dislodge this push.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that.
That Widowmine shot is ridiculous.
Picks off the Infestor there. And I was going to say, I don't like him showing the Infestor until the last moment when you actually catch the Terran army. But nonetheless, here come the Mutas, here come the Ultralists. Going to pick off quite a lot of Marauders here. They will group up with the rest of this Terran army as Maru is now trying to take the gold base.
Yeah, that is a very forward position to be taking, but honestly, I kind of like it. He's got some tempo in this game, and he's going to try to abuse that. Chasing these Mutas now to the bottom left-hand side. Rogue is just trying to distract Maru for as long as possible, get any sort of position that he can, and delay these attacks. SCV transfer would be nice to kill off, but thankfully for Maru, he does have some Marines, has a Liberator there to get those Mutas out of his face, essentially. The Ultras still alive, but a couple of them pretty low HP. I feel like if this fight happens pretty soon, it's going to be difficult for Rogue because so many of these Ultras were not able to heal up in time between the fights.
Yeah, he does have some Queens down there. Can maybe transfuse him. This Infestor almost walking into scan range. Has to be careful of the turrets as well. And look at Maru's army supply here. He's only on 49 workers, which might sound bad, but it makes your army so incredibly big. He's going to have an amazing max out push here if he does want to go for it. Right now, he's just defending this gold base. Wants to get this situated, wants to get these mines and turrets and center tower up so he can actually, hunker down here.
Yeah, the Marauders leaping forward, trying to kill off these Ultralists. Like I said, if he's not able to heal up, these Marauders can actually just jump on them really quickly. There's nothing to support them. Ling's trying to come in for a wraparound to try and keep this army in place. We'll just be able to load up into the medevac and run away safely to his massive minefield as well over on the right-hand side, along with that planetary. This is a great staging point for Maru. That one Infestor lurking around in the shadows, maybe able to get a nice fungal from behind a little bit later. We'll be able to get something there and gets a nice pack of that Marine Marauder ball. We'll be able to kill off the Thor on the left-hand side as well. So Rogue will actually dislodge Maru from this position. Wow. Not expecting to see this, as of course Rogue will continue to go down as well into the bottom right-hand side. Maru's army just suddenly evaporated. I felt like it was at 140 supply just like 30 seconds ago, and now he's barely above Rogue.
What just happened there? Rogue took out so many Widow Mines, absolutely insane. Now he's in the natural base of Maru. Here comes the rallies. Rogue looking suddenly in control. I have no idea how he managed to turn this around.
Yeah, what the? This is insane. He's just suddenly so far ahead.
Yeah, I thought they would fight over the gold base for a bit and then Maru would win. But Rogue layering the fungals, chaining them onto this bio army. A Thor does come out to help. God. Okay, he does micro that one back. The Mula's taking a lot of damage, but there's so many Mutas here in this army now. It's actually insane.
Yeah, I thought that
21.
I thought that Thor was about to just end Rogue right there with the Marines coming in as well, but there's just so many Mutas. Like you said, 21 in total, 5 Infestors on the field as well. Is going to make it very difficult for Maru to go for the deep dives with his bio. And the Mutas are going to be able to rotate over to this gold base now that everything was left defending the main, and we'll be able to kill off a decent number of SCVs. Actually, doesn't really kill too many. We'll just kind of keep them off mining for now. But still, this is getting better and better for Rogue in a game that I really thought he was going to be down and out. Maru felt like he had all the control in this late game scenario, but Rogue just completely blowing the door open.
Yeah, Maru's base is starting to begin to mine out now. And the low worker count was, a benefit to him when he was maxed. But now that he's trying to rebuild, he only has 36 SCVs. So he doesn't have maybe the income that he's looking for.
What's up, everybody? We are back, and we're ready to go into the winners match. Crazy results here. Shameless actually winning that match. This is so exciting.
Yeah, Shameless was looking really good, man. There were some pretty impressive wins. And even in game one, the match that he lost, he still put up a really good fight. He was showing different styles in every single game. I'm excited to see how he's going to do versus Bunny.
I was pumped, man. Seeing how pumped he was, too, when he won. This is kind of crazy. So it's going to be another PVT here. Shin, Bunny. Sorry.
Eventually, there's only 4 names. Eventually, we're going to get it right.
Hey, I'm like, classic versus rogue. No. It's going to be Shameless versus Bunny. And Shin versus ByuN in the losers match. How crazy is that?
That's going to be a rematch for the GSL. Shin and ByuN just keep fighting each other in these groups, but Bunny versus Shameless. I am so curious. If Shameless wins this one, if he plays as well as he did versus ByuN in the last series, he might be first place in Group C. How insane would that be? This new kid coming on the block, playing in the RSL, winning the first group. That would just be wild.
I love it. You know, it's great when we have new faces. I think, you know, StarCraft 2, definitely a lot of people have been playing, you know, and dominating for like, you know, sometimes a decade plus. So when you see someone break into that in this tournament, I mean, this is super cool. So, look, we've already seen Shameless do it once. We're going to see if he can do it again. Yeah, I'm just excited to get into this match, man.
I'm wondering if he has even more builds up his sleeve, too.
Yeah.
I feel like we saw 3, mostly in the mid game. They all reached the same position in the mid game. You know, he goes into 2 Forges, eventually adds in the Robos, it's Colossi, and then sometimes we go into Disruptors. But he gets there in very different ways in each individual map. And so I'm wondering if he has a couple more builds up his sleeve. We haven't seen him open up with Proxy Gate or anything else like that.
Sure.
But he has gone for a lot of different strategies so far.
Yeah. I mean, there's, you know, I'm sure he's got a wide range of styles. The question is, can it take on Bunny? Bunny, by the way, looking insanely strong today, like better than I'm even used to seeing. So this should be an interesting match. I'm sorry, is there some kind of delay here? Are we going to... Oh, there's still vetoing. Okay. All right. That's what's going on. So there is a delay. We got to get the map sorted out here. But yeah, I mean, let's see what exactly Shameless can do here. You know, honestly, when I came into this, I kind of thought, all right, well, you know, it's cool that he made it this far, but, you know, this is a pretty elite phase of the tournament. He's probably going to get fleshed out here.
Oh, it's been a very strong showing for him so far. As we take a look here at the Season 5 map pool, of course, the Patreon supporters, they voted on the maps. 3 new maps are in: Eternity's Edge, Exarch. Why am I reading these? They're so hard. Rorschach.
Yeah, we need less syllables in the maps. We need less words.
I immediately regretted my decision to try and read these maps on stream for the first time.
That's a dangerous game. They say don't do math on TV. Don't do math on TV, but don't also test if you can read, because that's another dangerous game you're playing right there.
I'm literate. I'm a pretty well-read person. English is my first language. I thought I would be safe. I thought reading the names of the maps would be a safe space for me, but apparently not.
Rorschach is a great
that's the psychological test, isn't it?
That's the one. It's like the ink block test where you go like, you go,
what is this?
What does this look like? And it's like, it was my dad hitting me, and it's just stuff like that.
So you know,
you show Artosis a Rorschach test of a map. He goes, what I see is Terran is the hardest race. That's how he passes that.
Oh man.
So we're almost ready to go, guys. We have the players joining the game. We're gonna go to Old Republic. Necropolis, and Missing You Today. We're starting to get maps that sound like bad song names.
I think it's literally a song name.
Well, I'm sure it's a song name. It's not like no one's ever missed. What band?
No, I'm serious. The map maker named it. It's a K-pop song.
It's a K-pop song. Is it a recent one?
Ugh.
Is it a recent one? Let me just keep asking you where the audience can't hear
Let's keep having a conversation with a guy who's not mic'd up. This is great.
All right, folks. Game number 1, winner's match here between Shameless and Bunny. Shameless spawning in the top right, Bunny spawning in the bottom left.
Now I kind of want to listen to the song, actually. Now I'm curious if it's good or not. It's like, Opa, Opa, I miss you today. I could probably guess the words, right?
Keep going.
Opa, Opa, sarong, hey.
Oh my God, dropping bars.
There we go.
Wow.
It just came to me, man. That's crazy.
If that's not a song, it should be soon.
It should be. I could probably write some decent K-pop songs here. So, yeah, I mean, let's see what Shameless can do here. I mean, you know, it's crazy because he played really well in that last series, and it was like straight up play. There was no gimmicks. There were no surprises. There was no, like, this is a one-off build. If you haven't seen this, you can't stop this.
It was really aggressive, but it was aggressive in a way that wasn't gimmicky. You know, it was aggressive in a way where if the aggression fails, there is always a transition out of it. And the fact that he hit with different aggressive builds in basically every single game, it's just exciting because it means that he's not intimidated being here on the RSL stage. He's going up versus Bunny, going up versus ByuN, and he's still dealing with these hyper-aggressive styles, trying to get some damage done early with gateways and oracles, with proxy gateways and Zealot Archon. Even when it doesn't work, he's not really losing his footing, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got the CC on the low ground. Shameless teching up into the Cybernetic Score with his own fast expand. Let's see if it's going to be that Blink Stalker play or something very different. On this map, I do feel like the 4-gate can be pretty strong, especially when Terran's on this side of the map with the add-ons kind of sticking out. It does seem like it's gotten a little bit popular again here, at least in some of the games that I've casted.
It's a couple spots to blink into the main base on this one, so we'll see if Shameless is going to go for that, as we're still waiting for Protoss to throw down their first tech structure. Stalker, first unit out of the gateway. Not an Adept. Usually see the Adept first, and that actually makes me think it is more likely not going to be Blink. We'll see. Stalker done. Actually, a Sentry follow-up, so maybe a little bit more of conservative play here from Shameless in game number 2, or game number 1, excuse me, his second series of the day.
Maybe just going for a hallucinated scout here,
Yeah.
trying to see, okay, what is... So it's kind of more of a reactive, almost kind of like a Zerg way to play. You're going to try to scout and just see what they're doing, and then kind of slightly alter the trajectory of your build or how you're going to tech up to kind of respond accordingly.
I like him switching things up. This is probably one of the more passive builds that he's opened with so far today in PvT. So Bunny certainly was watching the first series between Shameless and ByuN, was probably taking some good reads on what kind of opening Shameless was going for. Now a little bit of a switch up here from our Protoss player as he throws down the Twilight Council in the gateway, just waiting for that Sentry to gather up enough energy to throw out a hallucinated Phoenix and see exactly what is going on Bunny's side of the map.
Yeah, so we're still up to the 2-gate here. We're going to wait and see which kind of fork in the build order is going to be followed from this point on. But first, the Phoenix needs to come up ahead and basically see whatever he's looking for, whether it's building placement or the tech direction, something like that. Back here, it's going to be a Raven. We do see a lot of Terrans, by the way, now cancel if they're scouted, so it's going to be the Raven with the Disable. But let's watch closely and see if he actually commits to this. If you do go for the Raven and the Disable here, I guess the reality is you look at that, you don't know what's being made in there for the time being. It's not like it's a Stargate, right?
Yeah,
But he does cancel. He at least cancels the upgrade. Okay.
I think you almost always want to
So
cancel that.
he cancels it and he goes for a Banshee and Cloak, and I'm like, well, I don't even know why you do that.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move. Protoss players these days, they play very gateway heavy in the early game, and
Right.
they only usually add Colossus once they're taking the 4th base, or if they're really conservative, maybe after the 3rd base. So there really aren't a lot of targets for Interference Matrix in the early game. That's why you never see it complete. But at the same time, it's beneficial to the Terran to try and force Protoss to build an Observer as quickly as possible, because it's a unit that isn't particularly useful in a lot of the head-on engagement styles that Terran like to go for. So Shameless just quickly throwing down that Robo, getting the first Observer out on the map now because he has to be safe in case there are Cloak Banshees coming.
Okay, so Blink is done. It's a conservative game here from Shameless, by the way. He's just developing. He's just basically growing out here. There was no 3rd CC made, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, okay. And so it's going to be Bunny. He's going to have the opportunity to push here. This is probably going to be a 2-base push where he basically throws the command center down as he goes out. Yeah, Marauder tech coming up here. We've got the combat shields on the way. Protoss is going for the Zealot charge here. And a game basically where both sides are powering up.
Yeah, Shameless, I think, is bracing for impact a little bit because he's expecting some kind of push to come from Bunny. So the Raven's going to drop here the natural expansion. Should be able to get 1 or 2 probes. Actually, just the 1 here. So Stalker's able to deal with that auto turret. And for Shameless, there's no tech, really. It's just Twilight Council, Blink and Charge, Gateway unit upgrades, and then a ton of gateways. We don't have a Robotics Bay. We don't have any forges.
So there's
For
only
long-term upgrades. There's no Templar Archives.
Yeah, so there's only 2 medevacs with this. So the army's quite big. In some ways, this attack has to work because you're not going to be able to pick all this up and send it home. Remember that Zealot Charge is done. There's a bunch of gateways that are going to finish, I think, around when this push hits.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the moment where we basically figure out where this game's going to go, who's going to be ahead.
I think Shameless has all of the pieces that he needs to defend this push effectively. He is not overextended with tech or upgrades at all. Everything that he's invested money in so far, it builds up to helping him deal with a push like this one. And already with 11 Zealots out on the field, I think a warp in of a ton more, and He's going to be in pretty good position for this fight. Coming in with a flank right now on the rear end. Zealots charging in. It's a full surround right now. Siege tanks focus firing onto these Stalkers, able to clean a lot of them up. And actually with the stim and the Medivacs, the Zealots just not finding the damage they were hoping to get.
Oh my God, he's going to be able to, he might be able to win the game with this at this point in time. It just didn't seem like there was quite enough there. Everything was sort of split as it attacked in. It's like the bottom attack hit first and the top attack hit afterwards. I think Shameless is dead. GG.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Bunny taking game number 1.
The Bunster.
The Bunster, man, he's doing well, and that was kind of a surprising result, especially considering, again, that Shameless, there were no forges, there's no robotics bay.
Yeah.
Everything was pretty much invested to try and hold a push like this one, but
Should he have, like, waited for the Immortal and then attacked
maybe,
after?
or I didn't catch, I don't know if we had a Guardian Shield on the top side. There certainly wasn't one with a flank.
I
That could have
didn't
helped,
see.
certainly. And then also, Bunny was already sieged up once that fight took place. It's like Shameless was trying to catch him unsieged, but Shameless was already in a pretty entrenched position.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I don't know. Do you want to try to catch that before it gets there then? I don't even know if you can. The gateways aren't done yet.
I think you would like to buy a little bit more time there at Shameless, especially with the 3 base income compared to the 2 base income there of Bunny with not too many reinforcements for Terran streaming across the map. But
Yeah, they look
Shameless,
hard to stop.
Yeah, he tried to push it back as soon as he possibly could, and that's going to be Bunny's in game number 1. So Bunny just continuing to look unstoppable so far, 3-0 on the day.
Yeah.
And he's going to be trying to advance first place in this group.
Yeah, he might do it. It seemed like whatever Bunny had planned there, that worked pretty perfectly against Shameless. Shameless also, I think, like I said earlier, like the attack, it's like the bottom part hit first and got cleaned up. Then you really have to have the Zealots all kind of hit at once. But even then, honestly, I don't know if it would have worked.
Yeah, I think you want to catch Terran when they're aggressing into you. You know, see the bio starting to attack the Nexus and it's a little bit more spread out or something. Everything was just so well protected there.
Yeah.
Even the lack of service area for the Zealots just seemed to be a real hindrance. So, Bunny with some really good control and a well-executed timing push, taking game number 1. Game number 2 is now loaded up. Let's see if Shameless can fight back and force a game 3, or if Bunny is going to be the first player to advance out of Group C.
Okay, hopefully we have a better game here from Shameless. Kind of a bummer after that last performance to see he kind of just died to a push. But honestly, you know, there's no shame in it, no pun intended here. Bunny's looking really good. So yeah, let's see what Shameless has planned here. Is he going to go for that same build with some small alterations? It's funny too, because he did do like the scout early to kind of see what's going on, and basically had the ability to kind of check on what the Terran was up to the whole time. So yeah, I don't know what he's going to do differently this time.
Yeah, we'll see what adjustments Shameless makes here in game number 2. We are on Necropolis, and Shameless sending an early probe scout, trying to find out what Bunny is going for. Seems like not a lot of early game trickery coming in from Bunny so far in this series. ByuN, both in game 1 and game 2, went for very fast engineering bay blocks. On Shameless' side of the map, Shameless dealt with them in different ways in game 1 and game 2. Game 1, I think, was a 5-probe pull. Game 2, Chrono boosted out a Zealot and a Stalker, took a second gas, built another pylon, macroed out 1 base for a little bit before expanding. And both responses seem quite good. So for Bunny, it seems like the starting response here, or I should say the starting build, is going to be much more standard. Just barracks here in the main base, no scout opening here for Terran.
Okay. Oh!
Sleep at the wheel.
Yeah. Can you get this out here? He is going to manage to escape with that unless the SCV intercepts it. Oh!
Shields, though.
This game is so exciting. Okay, so fast expand. The probe's going to come in here and check. His mission is accomplished. Greatest probe of the RSL so far, as far as I'm concerned. All right.
You're very generous.
Let's rest this debate right now.
Reaper now done for Bunny. He's going to be sending that cross map. We're going to wait and see what tech choices are going to be coming in for both players. For Bunny, I'm imagining that we're going to have a factory being thrown down here in just a moment. In fact, there it is on the production tab. And for Shameless, once more, the first unit out of the gateway after the Cybernetics Core done will be a Stalker. So skipping the first Adept.
Okay. We're going to go into that probably a 1-1-1 tech over here. Probably also, yeah, there goes the Twilight Council here for Shameless.
Yeah, a fair bit faster than last game, too. No sentry.
Yeah. And this is kind of more of a blind play style. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. You know, some build orders are, you engineer them around soaking up intel constantly and then kind of laying out the next steps And then others, you can do where you're basically playing a very well-rounded approach, and you can kind of beat anything with this, as long as you don't miss any marks and cut corners correctly. So it's going to be that blink again, into a second gate, no doubt. And then, probably into a robo here with a third base, unless it's going to be that 4-gate play.
Yeah, we had quite a few chrono boosts on the gateway as well, so this second Stalker going to be finishing just in time to try and usher away the Reaper. Should be able to get at least one probe, might even go for the injured one here. And Shameless in the natural expansion of Bunny getting a little bit of counter damage in. Only one Marine here in the natural. Oh, actually 2 more now coming in from the main base, so there is enough.
Oh my god, this Hellion's going to be doing a decent amount of damage here. There's not really any easy way to kill this until these Stalkers come up. It looks like it's going to get 3 kills, so not bad at all. I mean, the Hellion pays for itself and a little bit more. We once again have the Raven coming into this game.
Yeah, Bunny going for another Raven build. Actually looks quite similar to the opening that he did in game number 1. Just finding a little bit more damage, this time with a Hellion in the natural expansion, and Reaper in the main base combining for 3 kills.
Not trying to fake it out into like a, Raven with an upgrade that could be canceled to make it look like it could be Banshees and Cloak as an example. So the Robo is about halfway done, and we're getting that third base. So, I mean, it's a lot of the same ideas. The execution is a little bit different here from Shameless. But this is basically your bread and butter PvT build, right?
Yeah.
I was talking earlier, when you look at like 3cc into 8 racks, it's like that's a great build if you want to teach somebody how to play the game and they're not being wacky and cheesy. This PvT build, this is kind of like, oh, you want to play PvT like normally? This is basically what it looks like.
Yeah, I would like to see, okay, Charge is now getting started.
So the Charge builds, I guess we were talking about this on GSL?
I think so.
Yeah, this week. Charge builds basically mute any potential for a 2-base push, because the Zealots just overwhelm everything.
Yeah, they should. They should if you get a good enough engagement as Protoss. Ideally where Terran is a little bit spread out with the bio so that your Zealots can focus fire a little bit better there with the A move. It's really hard to individually micro charge Zealots. But occasionally we have games like the previous one where the Terran army is just so well controlled and well positioned. If you force an engagement as Protoss, the trade just does not go your way, and you still can't defend a 2-base push. So we'll see if Bunny is able to make the same thing happen this time. The build that Bunny's going for is going to have a ton of Marines, and it's kind of a delayed push coming in from Bunny. So the army size is going to be a lot larger, and because Shameless is again playing effectively the same game as he did in game number 1, he's going for the additional gateways. Once more, there's still no additional tech, there's still no forges. It's going to be basically the same armies clashing at Shameless's third base, and it's going to come down to the engagement. Can Shameless make a better engagement than he did the previous map? Otherwise, Bunny's going to be winning twice in a row in almost identical positions.
It's scary. This isn't enough Stalkers to force up Siege, so like some of the Stalkers are just losing shields and really not doing a whole lot of damage. This infantry is going to be healed by the time it gets here. This is going to hit like a bus. I don't know if Shameless is going to be able to stop this. Now, Charge is done.
That's a bad blink.
Oh, God, I'm going to cover my eyes. Okay, he gets out in time.
Only one Stalker falling. That could have been a disaster if Bunny realized that Shameless had blinked himself into a corner a little bit
Guardian
earlier.
Shield. Oh, maybe not. It's a Guardian Shield or a Force Field that wouldn't help at all.
Oh no! All of the production is here in the natural expansion. 4 gateways in a row, 3 already unpowered. Shameless is going to try and set up another flank, but the position for Bunny just looks so good. Tasteless, I don't know how Shameless possibly breaks this. We have the Widowmine here in the center. The siege tanks are well protected. Shameless is going to try and charge in once more. This is only half of the Terran army. The natural of Shameless is in complete disarray, so Bunny's going to lift up, rejoin his forces here. He can fight in the choke point of the Nexus and the mineral lines. Really complicate matters for the Protoss army. The Zealots cannot get good surface area. Medevac's being focused down. I think Shameless might have barely enough to stop this, but there's even more units coming.
I mean, that's a lot of damage. It's not over yet, but Shameless is definitely really hurting here. I think he lost his Robo in that push as well, if I remember where I saw the Robo earlier. So no Robo tech. I mean, that's one of the key structures you need to produce units that actually hold off, the next couple of pushes. Yeah, it's being remade now.
The next push is going to be even harder to stop. after that first one. Usually things get easier for Protoss going from the early game into the mid game, but I think things are certainly going to get worse before they get better here for Shameless. So I hope he can buy himself the time that he needs to stabilize, because the Robotech being completely stunted now, this is already a very low-tech game from Shameless. We only just now have the first Forge being thrown down. This is a moment where Shameless needs to be getting either Disruptors or Colossus to deal with a massive Terran army that is knocking on the gate, but instead he just has to wait a whole nother minute for the robotics facility to finish up. And I don't think a pure gateway army, Zealot Stalkers, and maybe 1 or 2 sentries will be able to stop this force. I mean, Bunny's army is just massive.
He's going to come in and attack again. If Bunny closes this out, the game's over. There's so many mines. Not a lot of Zealots. He's going to stim and attack it again here. Force field kind of chops this up a little bit.
Yeah, pretty good force fields given the circumstances. I think the issue is there's just way too much. And man, Widow Mines behind the bunker in a perfect SimCity here for Bunny deflects the Zealot counterattack as Bunny sets the sights again on the third base.
Oh
and
my God.
5 Widow Mines here. You got to blink everything away. Okay, Widow Mines diffused. Only
was
one of
pretty
them.
sick.
Yeah, only one of them is going to be able to charge up for one more shot. But Bunny, he's already in the natural expansion again. The Widow Mines, they at least buy him time.
Yeah, he's going to stutter step up the ramp, and this creates a pretty good bottleneck. The value he's getting here is crazy. I think we may be close to the end here. There's actually a continuation of the push down here at the third.
I mean, Shameless, it's kind of the same story as the previous push. He's able to barely defend, but Bunny is bigger, better, stronger on his side of the map, and things are just going to continue to get worse. It's full 3-base saturation here for Shameless, but there isn't much to look forward to. You're just in survival mode right now as Protoss. You need to warp in more Zealots and Stalkers. You cannot afford... he's going to try, but you can't really afford to invest into an expansion or invest in a robo base and try and get Colossus or Disruptor out at this point anymore, because Bunny's army is just so big. He's more than double the army supply.
I mean, this is looking so dire here for Shameless. I just don't know that he's going to be able to hold off this next push. There's so much more army supply. It's 88 to 40.
The Robo died again.
Oh, I didn't even
and
realize.
And the Robo Bay fell for Shameless as he's trying to get his tech back online. Shameless charging in once more. There are so many Widow Mines. Oh, I think this just might be it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be fatal damage here. The Immortal is vaporized. There's just not enough left here. And right now, this is a big enough army that I think he can probably just keep pushing. So that's going to be a 2-0 victory here for Bunny, who is playing out of his mind today. GG.
Wow. The Bunny just looking spectacular. 2-0 victory over Shin, 2-0 victory over Shameless, and he is first place in this group.
Bunny's killing it. Bunny is out of control. I mean, completely deserves to get out of this group. I honestly thought this was going to be like maybe one of our longer days, because I thought all the players were going to be fairly evenly maxed, and I thought Shameless would be on the weaker side of that. But it's been very different. Shameless playing well, but Bunny way above and beyond everybody else.
Yeah, it almost feels like a bit of an unexpected result there for Bunny. We all know that he's good, but the performance that he delivered today with a 2-0 win over Shin, and then actually dispatching Shameless after Shameless took down ByuN, who has been on fire, 2-1.
Yeah. By the way, very straightforward games.
Yeah,
the Bunny Shameless games. It's like, this is the build I do to beat you. I get here, and you know, it wasn't like the first push killed him this time, but the first push led into the second push being even stronger, and then by the time the third push is there, it's like you're dead.
Yeah, there's a certain threshold that you need to cross on the defense to be able to stabilize the game as Protoss and actually keep it playable. But yeah, unfortunately for Shameless, just wasn't able to do it after that first push.
All right, we got to go to Patreon now. Patreon, guys, we need your support. Consider signing up. Support the RSL. We've come a long way at this tournament. What are we, like 15 months into RSL?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So we started this. We're now on season 5. We've done an offline event here in Seoul that was crazy. And, it's all because of you guys, honestly. And Archon Studio, too. Yeah, so I'm not going to take anything away from the sponsors here, too, actually. No, but seriously, the support's been incredible. It's been overwhelming. So consider signing up. And if you're not in a position financially to support us, you can always just join as a free member, and we will email you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to go to the losers match. We'll see you in a little bit.
Hey guys, Tasteless here. I wanted to show you our Terran set for the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. You can see we've got all the pieces assembled here. It comes with 12 Marines, 3 Medics, 2 Marauders, 1 Sentry Drone, and then the final piece is Jim Raynor here. Each Marine in the set has a unique loadout. Over here, you have the Raynor's Raiders version of the Marines, each one with a rifle and a bayonet attached. But honestly, these look incredible. The amount of detail is insane. Like we've said before, these look exactly like what you see in the cinematics for StarCraft 2. Now it's important to remember, as amazing as this looks, this is more than just a bunch of cool figurines. This is actually a game. Each figurine comes with a corresponding card. So this is Jim Raynor, and you can see on the card his different attributes listed, what he's able to do, and this is what you'd be using when you're actually playing against your friends. So just like in the game, you're able to get different upgrades for each of the units. So for the Marine, if you flip the card around, you can see you can go for combat shields, grenades, or other various upgrades, which are going to change the whole experience of what you're having when you're playing the game. When a game starts, you get minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, flip it over, you'll see exactly what abilities that tactical card gives you.
In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals and Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards. And from there, you're ready to go. For more information, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. Check it out.
Down, and these are expensive, both in resources and supply. He's just not, I feel like the first wave didn't do enough.
It didn't do very much, but one thing that this has done for Rogue is that it's buying him a little bit of time. You notice he's maxed now with a bank, where we were talking a few minutes ago about how he would struggle to reach the max supply. And Maru, he has been able to snipe 2 hatcheries in this time, but the Swarm Host are a little bit of a curveball here. And I think it's throwing Maru for a loop. He's slowing down a little bit. Even Ling's catching him out of position right now, as Maru's trying to secure an expansion in the top left side. Ghost Academy also getting rebuilt. Maybe even more nukes are going to be on the field. And look at this, a Nidus network in the main base. Rogue is just an agent of chaos,
Rogue
Sturgeon.
is a genius. I can't believe he might find a way to pull this game back. There was a moment there where there was so many ghosts remaining and Rogue's supply was falling. I thought he was, you know, on the way to being dead, but somehow bringing this game back to life, keeping it interesting. Maru only on 53 workers right now. He does have a ton of orbitals, obviously, and CCs, but will these swarmers be the answer he's looking for? I feel like he's been long distance mining here forever.
Yeah, Maru just keeps sniping this hatchery. Every time it's like 75, 90% complete. We're going to come in again. Oh, those ghosts quite far forward. Failing to get some connections. 2 ghosts, 3 ghosts, 4 ghosts all go down. It is Sesame Street here. And Roxon coming again with a Swarm Host, taking out another expansion. That's going to be another force lift. More siege tanks potentially being taken out.
Yeah, these Swarmos getting some damage at least. They've got to pay for themselves many times over to be worth. This Nidus in the main is keeping Maru busy. Does he actually have anything going over there right now?
He needs to send army back because there's very little production here for Maru. It's 4 ghosts and 2 siege tanks because his mineral income is down to about 1,300, 1,400 minerals per minute. It's these units that are needed to try and reinforce right now. It's ghosts and siege tanks, which are not what you want to clean up a bunch of Lings, because there's detection too. The Overseer is there to spot for the Nidus network. So 4 ghosts just got cleaned up in the main base here of Maru.
That's insane. You try and kill the ghosts all game, and then suddenly there's a couple Lings. You manage to do it in the main base. And another wave of Swarm Hosts coming down here, and this game is really wild right now. I'm not sure who's going to win this. We have Hellbats being made, +3 weapons, more Swarm Hosts being added. This game is insane. 11
hatcheries have fallen so far for Rogue, but he just keeps re-expanding once more, re-expanding on the bottom right side. And you look at the mini-map, a lot of the expansions of Rogue have basically no minerals left. He needs expansions like this one. That's why there's so many drones already saturating it and distance mining from it. Because the mineral income, right now, it might be okay for Rogue. In a moment, it's going to be very poor. And with Maru still leading an army supply, especially against a Zerg army that has Swarm Host with very little Gastro mating to Remax, it is potentially a problem here for Rogue, despite how good this late game is looking.
Indeed, another wave comes in, we'll get cleared up. And I like that Maru's adding so many Hellbats into this army. They will absolutely shred.
Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL. I'm staying here with Gemini. We're getting ready to go into the elimination match here in Group C. Shin versus ByuN. One of these players is advancing to the playoffs. One of them is out of the RSL Season 5.
Yeah, this is not the matchup I was expecting to see in this losers match. I mean, Shin is coming off hot from a great GSL victory. ByuN, of course, also just a very good player and just very historied, and someone that we just assumed would be able to, you know, swat away Shameless pretty effortlessly. And kind of in the way that we saw just Bunny do it. I kind of expected that to be how the series went, but here we are with Shin and ByuN in the losers lower bracket, whatever you want to call it. The losers lowers whatever. You are now not going to be in the tournament anymore match.
Yeah, this is going to be an intense elimination match as we look at the maps missing you today. Eternity's Edge, an Old Republic here. Should we go to a map number 3 as our first set has loaded in. Shin versus ByuN. Starting now here in RSL Season 5 as Shin spawns in the top left, ByuN down in the bottom right.
We're getting a lot of the newer voted-in maps as well, these series, which is cool. Getting a lot of Missing You today. Getting our second look at Eternity's Edge coming up next as well. So it's very nice to see some of these maps getting rotated on in. Still waiting out for, of course, Exarch to get thrown in there, as that is a 4-player map. I'm very excited to see what these guys have to discover with that. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of curious overall how these new maps do start to play out. And we'll see how this match decides to work out as well, of course. The loser, of course, like we just said, is going to be out. So these guys need to bring absolutely everything. No more hiding any builds. You want to bring out everything you got.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get a nice macro game because in the early stages, you know how you look at the minimap, you could see where the players have their cameras oriented. Like right now, ByuN's looking at his natural expansion. Shin's looking between the main base and the natural. ByuN was setting his screen hotkeys, and the way that he set them up kind of surprised me. I would expect that you would take the base at the 6 o'clock position if you're going to be trying to play a macro game, but he actually, if he follows that plan, seems to be wanting to expand all the way up to the top right corner, just consuming the entire right side here on Missing You today. I think that'd be pretty fun to see. I would like to see that playing out. This is a gold base here in the top right. There are actually 2 gold bases in the center, and ByuN has his eyes on those potentially being bases number 4 and 5 should we go into a macro game.
That would be very cool indeed if he does decide to go for that. But of course, we'll see if he can even get there. We'll see if what the actual plan is. He's not going to go for any super heavy Reaper aggression or anything like we sometimes see from him. He's not doing that 2-Rex Reaper opener. He's just going to be going for the 1-Rex for now, and then going into most likely the 1-1-1 setup with some Hellions, possibly some Banshees and all that stuff. Just the standard stuff that you normally see out of Terran players. Would not be surprised with that. Although he did kind of, revolutionize the 2-1-1 way back as well, so you could always kind of trickle that in every now and then, something more aggressive like that.
Yeah, we'll see what ByuN's going to go for. Seems like factory first here, as it likely will be that 1-1-1. And I'm excited for this game. Shin and ByuN had some really banger series in the GSL, just long, protracted battles. I want to say like 20 minutes plus on multiple maps, where they were just both fighting relentlessly. And it's always a fun clash between these two. The Reaper's going to try and get the final shot on that Zergling. Shin doing a very good job of evenly distributing the damage amongst these Zerglings. But to go back to my point, I mean, you think of ByuN. ByuN is one of the best mid-game players in the entire world, in my opinion. And Shin, for a very long time, and at certain peaks of his career, has been the best mid-game player as far as Zergs are concerned. So when these two players stylistically start to clash, it can make for really interesting games where there's a lot of action in the mid-game. There are a lot of battles. It's very attrition-based in terms of who's going to get the edge.
For now, just the Reaper trying to get whatever information it can, just getting dealt with by the Queens there, seeing if it can maybe snipe a Creep Tumor if it was very lucky, but that would be a very, that would be very strange if it could actually get that. But for now, it's just going to be the Starport coming up behind it with those Hellions coming out, like we mentioned, whereas the Zerg is just, powering up as much as possible. Get third base about to finish up with speed coming in as well. We'll see when Shin decides to go for any Evo Chambers or a Roach Warren, if he wants to go for that Roach Ravager style like he did try to bring out versus Bunny, or if he's going to try to go into the Lingbane Hydra like we saw earlier as well, or potentially even going into Spire could also be a a possibility, but he's not gotten any extra gases just yet, and there's no quick lair coming in, so I feel like it's not going to be the Spire, at least.
Yeah, and on ByuN's side of things, 3 CC into Hellion Banshee, so about as standard as the setup can get here for Terran wanting to play a macro game, as he can try and keep control of the creep spread as best he can with the first couple of units, but Shin being very proactive with these queens. We'll make sure that the Hellions and Reapers do not find the connections with creep timbers that they want. And it's a pretty quiet early game here between these two.
Yeah, no one's trying to be super crazy just yet. I mean, this Overlord is going to try to dive deep and get a nice scout off to see what exactly is going on. I like ByuN faking the cloak research by getting the much cheaper interference matrix upgrade and then going to just cancel that once that Overlord does get killed off. So to Shin's eyes, it looks like it is going to be a Cloak Banshee opener, and he's going to have to account for that. Make sure he has some spores being placed down. Make sure if he went for a lair, then he would have Overseers, but he's not even getting that fast of a lair this game. Really delaying it to make sure he can get that double Evo going as well. So if Shin is respecting that cloak that he thinks he saw, then he should be getting some spores, and there he does start to throw a few of those down.
That's a lot of Hellions right now. We might be looking at a dive either at the natural expansion or the third base, but Shin getting on top of them with the Zerglings. Will ByuN be able to find the damage? Shin, he's doing a good job of zoning away these Hellions. The Hellions, once they finally get to the natural expansion, there are only 4 of them left, and it's an instant surround with drones and Zerglings. Are we even going to have one drone fall?
Whoa.
That was a perfect defense by Shin.
Oh my
no drones
God.
fell versus 8 Hellions and 1 Reaper. I mean, that was just the dream engagement for Shin.
That's insane that he doesn't lose a single drone. I mean, usually you see them try to pull away to make sure they don't lose anything, right? But going for the aggressive pull to make sure he guarantees the surround with the remaining lings that he had left over. And then since the drones and lings are, combined right there all in that nice circle, it means that there's no splash damage getting done on the drones in the first place. So you don't really lose them as fast. So a great calculation from Shin, able to defend that very well. Now the double Banshee trying to come on in, and already one of them losing half of its HP before it even gets into the mineral line.
I think these 2 Banshees can still take out the Queen, and before that Banshee takes critical damage, but none of it has attack Team Queen! Coming in from the natural expansion, able to clean up one of these Banshees, so now ByuN just going to focus fire as many drones as he can. Will he actually retreat with this? Oh, the transfuse!
Oh, second one!
Another one!
Oh my God. You love to see it, man.
I gotta say, this has been a spectacular early game for Shin. He has lost, I want to say, 1 Queen and 4 drones in total for a million billion Hellions, a Reaper, and 2 Banshees. I mean, this is just the dream. Everything about ByuN's early game in terms of the unit setup is about him getting map control and trying to get some economic damage done at a critical moment in the map when Shin is trying to saturate all of his bases. And ByuN basically, I was going to say he fumbled it, but actually he didn't. Shin just dealt with everything so well. I mean, it was just an immaculate defense.
You might as well say he mogged him on that defense right there. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still learning how to use this word. I'll get there eventually.
That's okay. Well, we're helping you along the way. But yeah, that was a great defense overall from Shin. But ByuN is not done yet. He's going to still send his units across the map, try and get something done here with this forward push. There's a single tank, only a couple of medevacs and Marines here. A couple upgrades finishing just in time for ByuN, so nicely timed in that regard. We'll be able to clear out a lot of this creep. And it is hitting before speed is done for the Baneling. So there is still this moment where possibly ByuN can find a nice engagement versus these speedless Banelings.
Yeah, Marines trying to find the connections right now on top of the Banelings. 2 medevacs. Are you going to pick up right now? I feel like he maybe should have. A lot of those Marines getting cleaned up by the Banelings. And they will survive for now, but with the siege tanks also falling here for ByuN, it's been a pretty expensive trade. Oh, that 1 tank barely surviving.
Yeah, we'll be able to, dislodge the push for now, but there's a second one coming up from ByuN right away as well. He's just going to kind of continue this on. I mean, the first tank there is still pretty low on HP. One of the other ones was also killed off. He's just going to put it right back where it started. So we'll see if this is able to do anything. Speed is done for the Banelings, of course, as well, and it looks like the Hydras and Lings in position, but actually don't kill the tank. Thankfully, the Marines are there and will be able to keep it alive, but only for a little bit longer as the Banelings do finally finish on up, and we'll be able to force this away. That one other tank anchoring is, again, very low, so this is really not the best anchoring position. If we can just get a few units over there from Shin, we'll be able to tap that away, and now sets up for the flank as well.
These Hydralisks make sure the medevacs go up to the north side. I'm loving this style by Shin with the macro hatch in the main base too. I mean, this is such a larva-intensive approach. And oh no, ByuN, he's not watching the mini-map right now. Boost comes off cooldown. One of these medevacs will go down. It's not one of the full medevacs, so there's that silver lining here for ByuN, but Shin just absolutely on top of everything. This Hydralisk Lingbane style with a macro hatchery in the main base, so we're playing off of 6 hatcheries right now. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Some nice micro there from ByuN, being able to snipe down a few of those banelings as they come on in. We'll be able to get quite a few, actually. Shin is setting himself up for a Ling counterattack as well. But a lot of banelings used for that, but honestly, pretty good micro from ByuN. So not the craziest thing overall, but a couple of units trying to clear out some creep, but that just means Shin can go over to the right-hand side. There's not that much here except for a few tanks. ByuN maybe not expecting Shin to come here with his full army as the banelings also connecting with every single SCV at that expansion, forcing the CC to lift as well. That's a massive blow to ByuN's economy.
And just look at the mini-map right now. There are Zerglings streaming in from absolutely everywhere. Now they are rejoining with the forces here in front of ByuN's natural expansion. I think this army might just be a little bit too big. GG? Yeah, that's it. Shin taking game number 1. Oh, that was a fun style. The 6 hatches, the macro hatch in the main base meant that he could have a lot more drones and a lot more Lings up earlier than you'd expect. That was such a swarmy style of Zerg. That was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, a great style from Shin. I mean, that all stems back to that incredible defense of the Hellion pressure, getting the perfect surround with the drones and the Lings, making it just completely invaluable there for ByuN in the early game. And then is able to just catapult from there. I mean, just the perfect style, the perfect response, and just great engagements overall every single time. Being very patient with the Baneling speed, not being quite done yet as well, just making sure that he actually waits for that before just kind of suiciding the Banelings forward, and then just able to dislodge all the tank positions. Just really well done.
And I feel like Shin played the perfect composition too after the early game start that he got, because he knows that ByuN wants to be really aggressive. He knows that ByuN is going to be attacking constantly. And so he's not trying to rush ultras out too quickly. He's not trying to gamble with anything early like that with greed. Instead, he plays really one of the most powerful compositions that you can if you have any sort of early game lead. He goes for Hydraling Bane, which is an excellent fighting composition. And you could see ByuN just continue to put himself into a good position to try and start attacking into the 3rd base or into the 4th base of Shin, but everything just falls apart time and time again because there is so much, you know? The extra larva, especially with the macro hatch in the main base, really proving to be enough there for Shin. And now it is match point. Will ByuN be able to fight back, or will Shin close this one out with a 2-0?
Yes, we're going on to At Eternity's Edge, one of our newly voted in maps here for Season 5 of the RSL. So we'll see if ByuN can fight back on this map or if he's going to be bowing on out. And then Shin will be playing against Shameless in the final Deciders match in just a little bit after this. Or maybe we can go into a 3rd game here in this one, as we're getting a nice little map preview here from our wonderful observer Mapu, seeing exactly how this map is laid on out. Lots of bases on every which way, and some pretty, logical, expansion patterns overall to get to these middle positions as well, even a gold base in there. There's some kind of half bases as well, kind of on the top side of the map as well. I'm not sure exactly what those are. Yeah, so I was going to say it should be a rich Vespene geyser as well, so... yeah, I don't know. Just interested to see how this map plays out.
Huh. I like these nested bases, the one that you have in front of what would be the triangle 3rd expansion of both players, the one that we're looking at right now, how it's kind of... It's in the middle of a pathway.
Yeah.
The pathway to attack on in. And then if you look down into the 9 o'clock position or the 6 o'clock position, you have another one like that.
Yeah,
or it's just cool. A little bit forward. It's a map feature that I feel like I haven't really seen used that much. Yeah, this expansion right here.
Yeah, it's just kind of like...
right in the path.
It's like an extra little add-on base, almost. It's like you get this position, but then you can just go a little bit more far forward, and you get this extra base added onto it as well, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool map architecture.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this works out, especially because, you can see it's all low ground as well. It's not like this is an extra high ground position or anything like that, too, so you can kind of still set up flanks as the opposing player. It's still pretty wide open, so it's not like it's super easy to take, but... yeah, just the way it's all lined out like that is quite interesting. So curious to see how this map works if it does end up into one of those really longer, drawn-out games. So we'll see if we can get that there from Shin and ByuN. Last time, of course, Shin able to dislodge ByuN pretty quickly in that map. So we'll see if ByuN can stick it up for a little bit longer.
I mean, Shin just had everything go his way. In the early game, you think back to all the Hellions, the 2 Banshees, even the Reaper, only culminating in 3 or 4 drone kills. It was a very well done defense, but already getting a little bit more done with the initial Reaper. Took down a Zergling, forced a Spore Crawler, so it's about 25 minerals or so down the drain here for Shin. It's nothing much, but it's just some value that you get for a little bit of work with a micro there as ByuN.
That's a hard day's work there as the Reaper, man. Yeah. That's a wage well earned right there. Getting a few extra kills off.
It's almost 50 minerals. Zergling's 25 minerals. The Spore Crawler is minus like 20 or something. It's like 18, 17. I'm not sure exactly how much it is, but
it's an honest day's work.
At 49 in total.
Wow, look at that.
Reaper half paid for itself already.
Yeah, man, look at that. It's pretty good. Not too shabby as he's still trying to find more as he pokes away at the queens at the front.
Yeah.
Will be forced away, of course, for now as there's not much else for him to do. But yeah, we're going to be going into the Hellions and the starport yet again from ByuN. Nothing crazy, nothing unexpected there. We'll see how aggressive he wants to be. Of course, last game he went very aggressive with the 8 Hellions and got absolutely nothing. This time, definitely wanting to try to get something more than that. And we'll see if he wants to continue with that 6, that 8 like last time, or if he might try to dial it down back to 6 a little bit, just to be a little less greedy on that regard. Going for the Liberator as well instead of the Banshee, so switching it up in that regard to see if he can get some unexpected harassment.
Yeah, Liberator coming in here for ByuN as we have another 3 CC opening here for him. And oh no, sacrificing the Reaper to try and get the creep turn, but not actually getting the finishing blow. A little bit painful there for ByuN. That Reaper very useful, especially with the grenades at dislodging queens and Zerglings when you're trying to dive in with the Hellions. And so I think this time ByuN might be going for a little bit more of a low-stakes target if he were to dive in, potentially the 3rd base, although I'm watching the minimap and it seems like he does still want to get into the natural. Shin just, again, doing an excellent job zoning away those Hellions. And even forcing some idle time right now on SCVs and the Mule, sniping one SCV, building the supply depot here in the natural wall in as well. And Shin's early game has just been so spectacular, even with this Overlord spotting the Liberator. He has a very good picture of what is going on.
Yeah, generally the Liberator is something you don't see as much just because it's not as... You don't normally find as much value with it. The Banshees are much... it's much better to roam with them. You can kind of find damage elsewhere. And of course they can attack ground structures, so you can always kind of harass like a building 4th base or something like that. You can chase things down with them. The Liberator is just forced to be sitting there, so you kind of bring it out hoping to surprise the Zerg because it's not something as common. Nice block with that double queen, making sure these Hellions have to run away as well. So the fact that Shin knows that this Liberator's here in the first place, right from the spawn, is going to make it so impossible to find anything. And you can see all these queens in position, almost able to kill it right out. The Spore Crawler helping out as well. This is just, again, a great opener from Shin.
Yeah, Roachborn was thrown down by Shin, although I don't know if we have many roaches on the map just yet. Now he's going for double evolution chamber as well as a lair, just continuing to drone on up. ByuN on his side of the map finally has taken that 3rd base on the low ground, so we'll begin saturating that expansion as he continues to power up with 1-1 upgrades, additional barracks also coming in. As ByuN's been very active on the map thus far, but hasn't really been able to find much value for the activity that he's invested in. Total just 5 Zerglings falling, 1 Overlord, of course, to the scouting, or the scouting Overlord fell to the Liberator earlier on. A lot of investment from ByuN.
Yeah, nothing really much to say for it, unfortunately, as the Hellions continue to try to lurk. At least he hasn't just suicided them for nothing. There's still potential to find something a little bit later. It's still able to clear some creep here and there. It's always difficult, maybe, as the Zerg player, if you're kind of past the initial Hellion phase. You don't maybe expect them to just randomly hit a base while, some Marines are hitting on the left side or something like that, and it can kind of catch you off guard. So you still have to keep tabs on where this is coming from as Shin, so that could always come into play a little bit later. But it's going to be a large Roach commitment from Shin as well, going back to that Roach Ravager style that he did try against Bunny earlier today. So we'll see if this is going to be able to do well against ByuN as well. The bio on the right-hand side will be starting to set this up with the Hellions going on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, ByuN coming now. See if there's any drones over here at this expansion. None just yet, but he can isolate a pack of 5 roaches and pick one off. So nice little move right there. And these Zerglings looking for the surround on these Hellions. Will they be able to get it?
No.
Okay. Armory is done, by the way, so ByuN could turn these into Hellbats if he wanted to. I was thinking that he might use them in a dedicated push at the front, because that is one way you can actually get some more value out of these Hellions. But unfortunately, against the Roach composition, wouldn't really do it. And by the way, Shin going for a Nidus network, so might be a little bit of Roach Ravager action here in the main base, right by the concert.
Oh my God!
Look at the Labubus.
Shut up. But no, the line of sight blockers on the right-hand side, this is so cool that ByuN actually realized that that's there as well and knows that that's a possibility. So Shin, of course, was looking to hopefully get a Nidus in that position. Unfortunately, won't be able to unless ByuN completely disregards it.
Well, I think there might actually be a blind spot just south of that supply depot on the other end, but no, Shin just going to drop it right here behind the line of sight blocker anyway. ByuN does spot this, so he will be able to take it down with SCVs, but the Roach Ravager attack continuing here on the front. Even the Zerglings coming in to get a flank. Every siege tank falls. Oh my goodness. Shin just did a judo flip over at ByuN. ByuN completely lost his third base. The entire army is gone. He has to reinforce now from the main. Another Nidus Swarm about to pop in the main base though. ByuN had to bring the forces to the front line to defend, and now this Nidus very close to finishing.
It was all a bait in the beginning as well. All those units were forced to respond to the Nidus, but really the attack was happening at the front. Able to crush that forward position is Shin. And now, sure, he's got a couple roaches in the main base, but that's not even really a big deal at this point. The play has been defended at this point, so he's still going to be able to just reinforce from the front with this Nidus Swarm, continue this aggression, trying to snowball it to make sure he can actually go away with a 2-0 here.
Yeah, Shin pushing forward once more. There are so many Roaches and Ravagers. The ByuN take down the first siege tank. ByuNs are going to take down the second siege tank soon enough as well, as Shin is able to blast his way into the natural expansion here for ByuN. And the Marines, they're just not enough in number. And that is Shin taking a 2-0 win here in the elimination match. He is going to move on to face Shameless in the final match of the day. Oh, that was a deadly, deadly push.
Yeah, man, I mean, it just hit like a truck. Like, I don't even think ByuN realized exactly how much was coming his way right there. I mean, the Nidus in the main base pulling away a decent group of Marines would have been nice to have in the fight as well, but then that Ling flank around onto the tanks at the back line was really nice. The SCVs trying to get in the fray, but not able to really do anything. Biles getting thrown down onto all that clumped up units right there. So just a perfectly executed engagement from Shin, and honestly a perfectly executed series. Like, I felt like he was at no point under any threat whatsoever from ByuN. A total flip from how that first series versus Bunny went.
Yeah, ByuN is so good at usually finding these little edges in the early game with his micro, but it felt like that just did not happen either in game 1 or in game 2. And in both games, Shin carried the momentum of really a perfect defense in the early game. You know, an even more impressive one in game 1, considering all the Hellions that dove in and the Banshees that try to find damage. And then in the mid game, he converts them in two very different ways, but it's just fun to see the range that he has in game number 2. 66 drones, just perfect 3-base saturation, and then full pedal throttle, Roaches, Ravagers, Nidus Network in the main base. That was an awesome series.
Yeah, very fun to see Shin kind of coming back to that form that we were expecting to see in this group after that loss versus Bunny, and now he's found himself in the final match, going to be going against Shameless a little bit later.
And folks, if you enjoyed that series, we invite you to go to youtube.com and watch it again. Yeah. Give us a little subscribe, drop a comment and a like. We're trying to grow this thing. As Tasteless said earlier, it's hard in a game that has been out for 15, 16 years now to create a fresh YouTube page and start to build it up. And so we are still today, even though we've been around for a little over a year now, getting comments on the YouTube page from folks who are just finding about the RSL because it's not getting served up to them by the algorithm. And so one of the best ways you can help us is by making this thing bigger and better, by leaving a comment, dropping a like, clicking the bell. These kind of things, they actually do tell the algorithm, oh, people want to see this. People who like StarCraft or strategy games, they want to watch this kind of content. It'll serve it up to more people. Spread the good gospel of StarCraft 2.
Oh, yeah. We're going to go to a short little break. More RSL coming up after this. It's going to be the final match of the day. You don't want to miss it. Kill those off before the extra queens and other units come in. Might even try to get a couple of drones, but sees a couple roaches, so we'll just go on to that instead, and then get some extra drones as well before he boosts on out. Gets the scout on that Baneling Nest, I believe is what that is over on the right-hand side, but I don't believe he actually clicked on it. But he might be able to just kind of assume that that's going to be the next natural progression.
Yeah, the drop's going to come in here. He's going to try to kill any drones he can. And I don't know that he's going to be able to get out of here with that much.
Surprised the queen actually got killed off there. We'll be able to deny any extra transfuses, any extra creep tumors, as this push is now finally getting its way into this fourth base. Without that creep spread deeply into the middle of the map, there's no knowledge that this is even coming, and now there's a very little amount of leverage point for Rogue to be able to get into this army.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm worried that this game's just about to end. The hatchery's at like 20% HP. The Ravagers are going to come down here. It just seems that everything has enough sustain. It does. Maru with literally the best early game I think I've seen from him, TVZ. That was insane.
20 drones after already getting 3 with a Reaper. Like,
remember when the drone tried to make the extractor and he was like, ah! Just like came in and hockey checked the drone.
Just blasts him through the glass.
Yeah. Just, and just totally denied that. I'm about to knock over equipment
Please
on
don't
our
destroy our entire desk
I'm
space.
I'm seeing our mute buttons get pulled right under the desk here.
Oh my god.
I mean, that was insane.
Yeah.
The Reaper getting the extra kills in the drones. What are you going to do? Then the push comes in, and it is just too strong.
I mean, if there was a question of whether or not Maru was getting tripped up by those couple of games, especially that one with the Mass Ling Queen drop, I think that is going to put all those questions at rest. I mean, Maru is looking as locked in as we've basically seen the entire day coming in with that early game.
It's insane, man. So Maru's got a shot. He has to win the next 2 games in a row to make this 4-3. Again, Rogue just needs 1 win.
Yeah.
I mean, 4-3s do happen. They are much rarer than, obviously like a 4-0 or a 4-1. Those are much more common. But when you have a score that's 3-1, the odds of one player winning 3 in a row, that is rare.
That's so difficult.
That's very hard to pull off because one player's already shown they basically have you kind of figured out when they're at 3-1. They would have won the best of 5.
Right.
But if anybody could do it, it would be Maru. So this series is going to continue on here. And we're going to see what exactly Maru has in store. Now, remember, Rogue, by the way, that last game, I think it's fair to say we don't really know what Rogue wanted to do.
Yeah.
He was basically on the receiving end of like a lot of abuse and in a pretty turbulent game that he was not able to even get out of mid-game in.
Yeah, any plan that he was attempting that game basically just got upended from the early harassment, just getting completely outclassed in that regard. So I think Rogue can just kind of take that game and just kind of push it to the side, just be like, okay, that was just a bad early game. I'm just not going to let that happen again. That just never usually happens at all in my game. So just totally take it the same as he was going to originally. He did look pretty frustrated, though, at the end of that one. I saw in the webcam, taking his glasses off, rubbing his face a little bit as he was typing that GG. So he definitely is going to be feeling the tilt. Rogue is someone that is known to be a bit of a rager overall. I feel like he's had a couple of pretty classic clips of him, punching his desk or screaming. I remember watching like some like when he was back in Gen Air, they had the team house or whatever. You see one of the pro players streaming, and then in the background you hear just this guttural roar from the back, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's Rogue."
Yeah. So, I mean, by the way, if he makes it out of this group, we have a short break, but then he's got to go right up against Max Pax. I mean, this is what happens when you come from the losers bracket. And by the way, guys, if he wins, so in case you're just now joining us, I know we're front page on Twitch now. Thank you very much, Twitch. If you're joining us right now, the winner of this goes on to the finals. But the winner, if the guy from the losers bracket, so whoever these two make it past that, has to win the best of 7, and then it's a reset into a best of 3.
Right.
So this is a really exhausting marathon for those coming from the losers bracket. But of course, that's the burden you get being in the losers bracket, right? The guy in the winners bracket had the flawless run.
Yes.
So Max Pax is waiting for whoever's going to advance here. But right now, Maru and Rogue are looking so sick.
Yeah, it just makes the win that much more impressive as well if they're able to actually go all the way, because you just realize how many games they have to play in a row to get that victory. So it would be absolutely crazy if Rogue could actually manage this. But for now, again, Maru looked very strong in that last game, coming out this game as well with another totally standard option, going for yet again a third CC, going for the factory, going to be going into some Hellions, and the Banshee did so well last game.
Hello, everybody. We're back, and we're ready to go into the final match of the night. This is going to be Shin versus Shameless.
Yes, indeed. Shin versus Shameless going to be coming on up. We've already seen Shameless do pretty well in the PVT matchup. Sure, he kind of got bopped by Bunny in that other one, but did very well versus ByuN. Now we get to see how he's doing against Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, Shin's been playing very well. I think it's going to be a very, very tough match for him. He had a bit of a disappointing performance in the winners match. I don't know. I mean, it kind of... I guess no shame in it, but, just died to the push.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, wasn't able to stop it. We didn't go to a further game. So yeah, let's see how he does here against Shin. Obviously a matchup I have not cast him in yet.
Yeah. So we'll see exactly how Shameless is going to be doing here in this one. It's going to be Celestial Enclave coming up first, and then Old Republic, and then Missing You today. So let's get started into our final best of 3 of the day to see who our last player going to the playoffs is going to be.
All right, into the match we go. Shameless here in the bottom left, Shin in the top right. And yeah, I mean, look, I'm kind of rooting for Shameless here. I can't hide it. You know, I mean, it's I think Shin is, you know, obviously a much more likely player to advance here, but it's great to have new faces. You know, a lot of the stuff I cast, I don't get that many new players here.
Exactly.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, and, you know, so it's a real treat for me to see a different play style, to see someone new and younger. You know, I don't think we're all going to be stopping playing StarCraft anytime soon, right? It just seems like this is our game, you know?
Yeah.
But it's great when you see new people show up and they can bring their styles and their ideas to it. And Shameless is our guy for that.
Absolutely. And we have, interestingly enough, from Shin as well, a drone getting sent to the right-hand side of the map. Not something you see every day. So what is this going to be? It looks like it's going to be sent right in for a proxy hatchery as well. So Shin going to be coming out with something very interesting, very aggressive here to mess with Shameless's build at the very least, and potentially even try to do even more if he wants to be more committed. But it looks like he doesn't have a spawning pool going down back at home or anything, so it looks like this is just going to be a delay play from Shin.
This really bothers me. It's not placed right. I know he's not going to mind from that, but this really, like, I just look at that and I'm like, oh, it makes my skin crawl.
Yeah, it's OCD people, you know, put your eyes away. Don't look at this natural right here. But yeah, it's just going to be to delay this natural for as long as possible, make it difficult for Shameless to know exactly what to do. And it could really mess with your build order as the Protoss player, just because, you know, you're not expecting a hatchery just to get thrown down into your natural like this. Your timings get all messed up, of course. You know, you're going to have to make an earlier pylon as well, so that's going to kind of mess up with things. When do you get your gas exactly? What's your transition going to be? Do you just keep doing the same thing? Do you try to be more aggressive because they are, you know, wasted minerals on the hatchery? So different decisions that Shameless is going to have to make in these next few minutes.
Yeah, so this has been, excuse me, this has been used a decent amount here by Shin. It's one of the ways he prefers to kind of approach it. I don't really feel like I fully understand the hatch block and what that forces Protoss to be delayed in so much. I'm very interested in how the game pans out. Like, for instance, from Shin's perspective, does he want to just, like, kind of play normally from here on out and he's just further ahead? Is that how it maths out, or does this set up for a timing attack, or both ideas possible?
Yeah, actually, nice surround here by the Lings. We'll be able to kill off that Zealot for free, basically. The Adept's still here, though. We'll be able to, you know, push these away for now. But the idea generally is that, yeah, you're trying to just kind of delay them and kind of make their build a little bit wacky and maybe be mistimed a little bit, and then you just full-on macro behind it. You go for the 3 hatches anyways. You're not going for any super crazy early gas or anything like that, so you can still kind of power out a lot of drones as if you're kind of playing normally. So it is to try to play basically the macro style. Interestingly, he still has that drone there. It might just be used to scout afterwards, just to know exactly what the follow-up tech is. I don't expect him to throw out another hatchery. That would be kind of crazy, I think.
Okay, he's just going to continue to scout here with these Adepts, see what he can find. And yeah, we're going to go into probably Oracle play, I would assume, unless we got some surprises. Could be the Void Ray, I guess, as well. As this PvZ just continues to develop.
Yeah, drone's going to try to come on in, get the scout. Like I mentioned, we'll be able to find the Stargate eventually. It was thrown in the front, so it took a little bit longer to find, but we'll get that information regardless. Overlord was there anyways, just in case. So nice information gathering from Shin, and we'll have plenty of units back at home to defend against the double Adept as well, so that's not going to get anything done. Fast Twilight Council, I should say, coming out from Shameless, as well as quite a few extra gateways, so it looks like he's going to be going into the Glaive follow-up to this. And so that could definitely be very lethal, of course, if Shin doesn't put the pieces together, but I feel like Shin is someone that should definitely be able to sniff this out if he does want to.
Yeah, the Adepts, okay, it looks like he gets into a better spot over here now. Without the Oracle here, you know, you got to be careful. These Adepts can't really hang on for too much longer here. It seems like Shin, by the way, it seems like Shin was just having a little bit of a tough time with some of these interactions early on. Like he's getting Zealots surrounded, losing the Adepts. Obviously, it's most important he just doesn't lose the base, right? I mean, I guess he could be forgiven for dropping the Adepts, but seems to, maybe not as coordinated here at the start. He is going to go for a Glaives timing here. Obviously, it's a little bit unfortunate you dropped the 2 Adepts there when defending. Not the end of the world, but, obviously you're going to go for Glaives. You want to have as many Adepts as possible.
Yeah, it is really annoying when you do kind of lose those. It does kind of just limit how much you can do with the follow-up push. And this Overlord going deep will be able to see the Twilight Council researching, sees 1 extra gateway, doesn't see anything insanely conclusive from that. That just looks kind of normal, especially since there was the Stargate at the wall as well. So there's probably going to be a 2nd gateway at least. So I don't think Shin can put the pieces together just yet, as a couple Oracles will be able to get 4 drone kills and actually make it out. Very nice. 1 HP exactly.
So
crazy.
Close. Lings and Roaches are being made here, and he's actually going up to 7 Roaches. Now, I don't know that he knows that the Glaives was made, but he's going to be ready for it. He's going to have enough to fight it. The question now will be, will Shameless be able to basically juke or outposition this?
Yeah, here come the Adepts right now. They're going to try to make their way into the natural, as there are quite a few Roaches in wait right there. We'll try to target down a few of these drones as quickly as he can, and then try to reposition elsewhere, but there's still so much here from Shin. Was able to get quite a few units to be able to react to this for now, and it looks like it's only going to be about 8 to 10 drones getting killed off. It's not going to be a crazy amount. As the Adepts all get killed off. There were no follow-up ones either. Sometimes you see some Protoss players throw in an additional round a little bit later as the first wave goes into the main base, then you have the second wave come into the third base, but did not try to go for that either. So it's just going to be 9 drones in total. It's okay, but you're kind of looking for a little bit more as the Protoss, I would say.
Yeah, how many drones would you want to kill to make that successful?
You really want to get 12, 15, and then you're feeling pretty good. If you get upwards of 20 more, you're just like, oh, okay, I can just win the game now.
Yeah. That's when they're so crippled, you can kind of do whatever you want. Shin went for a Spire after this.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. I did not see the Spire tech in the cards, to be honest. And I don't know that Shameless is going to be ready for this either. Now, fortunately for him, he's already going for Stalkers, so he's gone into that Stalker Blink style with the Oracles, and this is great for pushing and pressuring. But, if you get enough Lings and Mutas, you're just going to run over Stalkers. The Blink really doesn't go that far.
Yeah, we'll see when this timing actually works out, because a lot of times if the Zerg player is just making the Mutas and they're spawning right as the Blink Stalker attack is happening, that's actually going to favor the Protoss pretty heavily, as the Mutas want to be on the other side of the map doing damage. And we're even going to shift queue Blink a lot of these Stalkers into this pocket base over here, but he does so right into the enveloping hands of a massive Zerg army, and that is not how you want to start off this Blink pressure as Shameless. Sure, he's got a couple of Adepts going on the side as well, which was very nice, but losing so many Stalkers when you're going against someone going Mutas like this is not how you need to start this off.
Yeah, I mean, that was rough, man. Losing those Stalkers like that. Very bad decision to try to blink into that moment. You got to be very calculated with your blinks. Blink, it's so abusive and it's so strong. I remember my mind being blown when I first saw Stalkers were going to have blink. I'm like, oh, that's going to be used a lot. That's crazy. But, if you misuse it and you overstep and you end up stuck in a place where you can't get out, in a position like that, one you can't even run away from, right? Now you're just trapped there. He is going to go for Storm. Meanwhile, Shin is just continuing to build up. He's going to go for the Baneling's Nest, getting a bunch of Lings, getting the melee attack upgrade.
Yeah, and the first Muta is going to find some Oracles to meet them first, but that is not really going to do too much there, as those will get killed off quite quickly. The Oracle will just kind of give up on life and stop moving and just get killed off anyways. As the
pulled over and said, end it all.
I'm sorry, officer, you got me.
No high-speed chase here. He said, take me to jail.
All right, Muta's going to come on in and get a lot of transferring drones, or probes, I should say, as there's not too much to defend in the main base either. The Blink Stalker's just trying to give chase. We'll be able to shoo them away for now, but 5 probes is pretty decent so far, and we'll be able to get likely some more as they do find their way back over to this base. These are not going to get dealt with anytime soon. There's no Phoenix to chase them down or anything, so they will be free to pick off probes and other things all around the map.
Yeah, 4 base Protoss here. against a 4-base powered up Zerg. Zerg is going to hit. And I don't know how ready Shameless is going to be for this. This is crazy. I mean, Zerg's not trying to grow really at all. It's just like, we're going to wind up and do the killing blow. And look, this might work. I don't know if this is a decision based off of the fact that those stalkers were killed. When he overextended and he thinks, no, you're just going to be too weak, I could probably just come in here and kill you. Oh, this has been a popular trend both in StarCraft 2 and 1, but just basically trying to dive in and kill the Templars and then attack afterwards. Or, you know, at worst, they're going to waste some storms trying to kill your mutas. I don't know that Shameless can survive this at all. This is bad.
Wasting all those storms just to kill the mutas is not what you want. There's like a single storm going off in this entire fight. The Banelings very weakened, but not killed, and so they are going to be able to chase down these stalkers and kill absolutely everything, it feels like. There's so much army supply from Shin on the map right now. The stalkers are just trying to run away as the base is getting completely ransacked. That's going to be a GG.
Damn.
Shin just coming out full stop in this game, man.
Shin absolutely murdering back there. That was insane.
Yeah.
Some rough plays there from Shameless early on. I think Shin played pretty flawlessly, but we saw, like, you know, a couple units early on get like surrounded or picked off. And then when it was time to come out with the blink, I mean, the adept play was like, okay, it didn't do enough. The game goes on from here. You're I guess, in a worse position than if you hadn't done that at all. But I really got worried when I saw the blink into the expansion without you know, checking to make sure it's safe. You got to be careful. The oracles can ensure that it's safe or not.
Yeah. It seemed like it was just one of those plays where it's on a map that's a little less, it's less often that you go for that pocket base, and so I think it seemed like one of those plays where Shameless is like, I'm just going to catch you off guard by suddenly being at the back here, because why would you really expect me to do that? But Shin was already expanding there, had vision completely, and so was fully
totally
prepared.
ready.
So it's just like one of those little lapses in judgment where Shameless is just kind of expecting that move to kind of catch Shin more off guard than it did, and he gets completely punished for it.
Yeah. I mean, the punish was brutal. And so we're going to have to see a cleaner game here from Shameless. Seems like he had a really strong start.
Yeah.
And now it's starting to taper off a little bit.
That's the problem. That's what we mentioned earlier. The consistency is always so hard against these crazy groups of all these really good players. Sure, you might be able to take a series or two, but you're going to need to continue to do that over and over and over again. And so we'll see if Shameless can bring it back here and continue this on, or if he's going to get knocked out in this final position of Group C.
Okay, into game number 2. Bottom left, Shameless. Top right is Shin. And Shin going to go for a quick pull.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
The disrespect. I kind of love this.
Can we put the players' cams up, please? I got to tell you guys something.
Okay.
I am Shameless's dad. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
You can't tell?
I guess I should have put 2 and 2 together, man.
You know how you can tell? We both have less in our name.
Yeah.
Okay? I raised him. If you drew a little beard on him, it would be me.
It would be exactly
me.
you. Looks exactly like you.
I've been worried for him my whole time. This is my long-lost son here in RSL. I'm
did.
having to cast. This is hard for me.
This is really tough, man.
Yes.
I can imagine this is really rough
This
for you
is
right
rough.
now. Yeah,
I didn't know I had kids. And I came into the studio today. I said, "Oh my God!"
You saw his name.
I looked at the last 4 letters of his name. And I went, "That's my kid.
It's my son.
That's
It's my own
son.
blood.
Shin, you leave my son alone.
What are you doing to this kid?
He's
I
my
raised
baby.
this."
Ah! Anyways, I hope.
Oh my God, it's a drone
Oh my
pull as
God,
well.
it's a drone pull.
Shameless is not scouted. He's not scouted.
One drone.
Oh.
This could end so badly. But, you know, there's a world where maybe Shameless can hold this.
It's gonna be rough, man. This
is. He needs to be ready to pull his probes.
He's doing the full greed. He's just a suit. Look at Shin, dude. He's just like, yep, I'm walking drones across the map. Just gonna scratch my head real quick. Yeah, Shameless is going for the full read, expecting
Shin's like
him.
tapping out and checking stock prices. It's like, oh my God. Here we go. Oh, you see Shameless immediately identifies this. Now, it's not gonna be the first time he's fought this for sure. But this is hard, especially when the pressure's on. We saw, okay, he's not down to the pylon yet. Oh, the pylon's going to get powered. Oh, God.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to abandon the natural. What can you do against that? There's just no chance that he could actually defend against that. It's going to be only probes and trying to get a couple shield batteries up to be able to defend. Going to be able to mineral walk through here, trying to get the probe drills to get the good engagement. He's just going to walk through everything. Unfortunately, unable to take any good engagement. Tries to get these shield batteries up. This is looking absolutely hopeless for Shameless.
Yeah, I think he's going to damage down the battery before it can finish. Oh, my God. And the probes are going to go down. Oh, Shameless is going to have to tap out. GG. Oh, my God.
Respect for throwing out the well played right there.
Yeah. That was manner. That was manner.
Or it's the opposite, and you're so mad that you're doing it sarcastically. Which one is it?
It was the first one.
Okay.
It was the first one. Yo, shout outs to Shameless. We were so happy to have him in this tournament. I hope he comes back and competes again.
Yeah.
Shin, brutal, man. Went with that. I think it was the right move too. I think he noticed that, like, okay, I'm actually trapping a lot of zealots, and he's a little bit fumbly with the micro. That's when you bust out that strat.
Yeah, and I think you, as the other player, as Shameless, that is a respectable way to go about that series, because you're expecting the other player, you're respecting them enough to not go for those type of early plays, that you go for the mind game. You say, okay, this is the game, I'm going to gamble. I know I just kind of lost that first game, but I need to get something going for me in this series. I'm going to go for the gamble. I'm going to go for the no scout nexus. And it just, I mean, Shin read it, man. Like, what are you going to do against that?
That was a pro build order pick.
Yeah,
for sure. That was like a tournament veteran. Like, okay, I'm gonna bring this out. This feels like it's gonna be the exact right thing. I don't have to reveal any of my other strategies either.
True.
No extra data out there for my opponents. So here are our results today, guys. Bunny and Shin advance. Shameless and ByuN. ByuN surprisingly not moving on here.
Yeah.
Although he's been really on fire lately. Tomorrow, we're going to be on with Group D. That's Cure, Zhaun, Lambo, and Clem. Super excited to be casting Lambo here in the RSL.
Yes, his first time as well. It's going to be great to see, again, another newcomer to the RSL. See if they can continue the success. And honestly, this is kind of the tournament. This is kind of the revive of the Zergs. This is the revenge of the Zergs right now. We're getting 3 Zergs already into the playoffs.
That's
something
why
that we're not
the
used
Revival.
to.
The Revival StarCraft.
Oh, I kind of laid that one right up there. Didn't even put the pieces together.
This is crazy.
Thank God you're here, Tasteless.
Guys, here's our schedule. GSL's going on at the same time, so we are almost through this week. Next week, GSL is off because the finals is going to be happening on Sunday, and so what we did, so there's no schedule conflict, because unfortunately we can't clone Tastelesses yet. But eventually we're going to have that technology.
That would be sick, man.
And you're going to be gone. It's just going to be nothing but a bunch of Tastelesses here.
Oh, God.
Tasteless and his clone army casting everything.
Just Tasteless and Tasteless riffing off each other
thinking
about
each other
random
are
shit.
hilarious. So we had to move this over by one. So we're going to be doing a Friday broadcast. That starts at the same time. So if you watched here now, just come join us on Friday. Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday we'll have the GSL finals. And then the next season of GSL starts up immediately. We're going to be back into that. Also, on the final weekend of the month is going to be our final 2 days of RSL. Those are longer broadcasts. We've squished the tournament together to make it a little bit more hype, a little bit more epic.
Yes.
So tune in early for that.
Something else more epic, of course, is Archon Studio coming back yet again as our official partner for RSL Season 5. All of their stuff looks awesome. Go ahead, please check them out. They've done some great stuff. There's a couple of videos getting posted on YouTube here and there from the tabletop players and whatnot. They're showing how the game actually works. They're doing some battle reports and playthroughs, and it looks very fun. I'm very excited to actually try to actually play a game over here. Very curious to see how it plays out, but it looks great. It looks awesome, and it's great to have them here.
Honestly, if you're a fan of StarCraft, this is like, you have to get this. It is so cool. They did totally live up to the standard of what I would want as a StarCraft fan for the way it looks. I mean, it's like right out of the cinematics. So we really appreciate Archon Studio. They've got a bunch of other great products on their website you should check out. Patreon.com. Guys, you thought Shameless was playing in the tournament. Shameless shows up when Tasteless promotes the Patreon. Guys, we need your support. Consider joining our mission here to have regular StarCraft 2 content that is well produced, that we can play out over a period of time. Sometimes we have these tournaments, over a weekend that are great, that are awesome, and those are important. And our scene needs that. But we wanted to have something kind of like what I grew up on. I grew up on watching the OSL and MSL way back when I was a little nerd.
Yes.
And what was nice is just you could tune in and watch that over weeks and weeks, right? It was like watching a TV drama unfold. So we kind of wanted to do that here. But in order to do it, we need your support. So consider signing up for a tier that makes sense for you. And of course, join our YouTube, our little tiny baby YouTube. It's me, the RSL YouTube. One day I'll grow into a big, strong YouTube, though. Only if you subscribe.
Please give me a little baby, baby water.
I'm a baby.
I need the milk. Please give me some subscribers.
I need your milk, please.
I realized how weird that sounded after I said it.
All right, you heard him. Get your teat out and give it to the YouTube. If you don't, you got to at least give it formula. We've gone down a weird road here. We need to grow our YouTube into a big, strong adult YouTube.
Yes,
okay?
please.
And the only way to do it is to subscribe and
wanna,
like the videos.
We want to graduate from baby formula to alcohol. Please give us let our YouTube
right.
grow into a beautiful young adult.
That's right. So support RSL on YouTube. We stream on there as well. We stream everywhere.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we're gonna grow that slowly over time. Guys, that's all the time we have. We love you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.